Look. You walked into the dealership.
No.
They didn't come get you at your house, okay? You walked in without the cash. If you walk into the dealership without the cash and you're like, I'm just going to look around, they're going to sell you, okay? Look, I tell people all the time, man, willpower in some ways is for punks, because if the cookies are sitting on the desk, you're going to eat them.
I'm going to eat one. I'm going to eat a bunch of them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and that's what happened to you, Pam.
Yeah, I know. So here's the deal. He's saying, why tie up the money that's in the bank, let it continue to draw interest?
It's already tied up. That's a straw man's argument. Yeah. You're either going to $400,000 in cash. I thought you were going to say like, well, we're really struggling. Y'all are millionaires.
To quote Neil Young, today.
Yeah.
Okay. Pay it off today.
Pam, listen, tell your husband that A, he needs to get a better calculator. B, that y'all made a commitment that y'all were going to be debt-free millionaires, and that you're just playing with fire and playing with fire and you're playing with fire. And here's all seriousness. This is the moment when everything is perfect and somebody gets sick. This is the moment when everything happens and somebody loses their job or the market goes down, and you're holding this thing that was no big deal and suddenly it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you're making it a big deal because it's got no interest here. We can get 4% in our high yield savings account. Or there's a 4% sleep tax on you. I can hear it. Right?
What do you mean?
I mean,
it's costing you your sleep at night.
The paltry amount of money you're going to make over 2 years in a high yield savings account on $26,000 is almost nothing, and it's costing you way more every moment you wake up. And the first thing you think is, I can't believe we went back into debt.
Well, yeah, because you guys said you were going to live one way. You chose not to. And the thing is, you weren't even backed into a corner.
No, you got outplayed by a car dealer.
Yeah.
Come on.
And you've got the money. Hey, here's what I want you to walk away from this. You guys need to be confident in your choices and what you know to do. You guys are debt free. You've got paid for cars, $450,000 in liquid cash. No one tells you guys what to do. All right. You tell them what you're going to do. And in this case,
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? In this case, you're going to go down there. You're going to pay this off. I am going to correct myself and say Neil Diamond instead of Neil Young. And you are going to be debt free by the end of this call. You're going to get off here. You're going to call them, pay it off, and you're going to feel so good because you're going to stand your ground and you're never going back into debt again. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to really do this, Pam?
Yeah, no, I really will. Trust me. I'll get off this phone and I will tell him what you said, and then we will go pay it off.
Let's do it.
If you want to have some fun, just do the quick calculation real quick. 4% on $26,000 over 24 months. And put that number down in front of him and tell him a wife with peace in her heart is worth more than this dollar amount.
I know that's right.
A wife that will love you and not wake up every day wanting to hit you with the exact truck that you took a loan out on is worth more than this dollar amount. And it just make it very, very real.
Yeah, that's true. That sounds good. I think I'll do that.
And let's for everybody listening who's kind of rolling their eyes, mathematically, your husband's right. It's free money. That math makes sense. And if this was a show about math, it would be a 14-second show. This is a show about freedom. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking about math. He made a good math move. You mean I can borrow money for the X number of years for free, for nothing? And I can make a little bit of pocket change over here in a high-yield savings account on the side? Great. That's a good math problem. But it doesn't take into account the wife that is saying, hey, this is not who we are. Mm-hmm. This is not who we said we're going to be. We were going to be a couple who is free. No, I love that when you say that, Jade. Nobody tells Pam and company what to do. Nobody. Except for, how them car dealers are. Come on, Pam!
A word to the wise. I just, you can't put yourself in the situation to be tempted like that. You go to the car dealership just to look around. I'm just browsing.
They're trained. They are trained karate experts. They will karate you.
I mean, it's like going to sit in the bar when you said you're not going to drink,
Yes.
right? You can't put yourself in these situations and then be like, I'm going to willpower my way out. Like, you're just, why? It's too much
Whenever
work.
I have one of my, like, no candy promises to myself, I can't walk down the aisle.
Don't do it.
Because I'm not trustworthy in those
Yeah.
moments when it comes to candy. So, yes, Pam.
Take the temptation
we're
away.
with you. You win the argument. Pam 1, husband 0. But remember this, too. If you win and he loses, you both lose. So make this decision together. It's another hour in the books here on The Ramsey Show. We're so grateful that you have been with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
It continues to amaze me how ID thieves keep expanding their ways to steal from us. Not only do they commit crimes related to financial fraud, medical ID theft, IRS scams, and Social Security fraud, but now we have to deal with the home title fraud. Thieves are using your personal information to take out loans, and you end up with a pile of debt and foreclosure notices. Think it couldn't happen to you? 2019 was the worst year on record for data breaches, so thieves have plenty of identities to use. And since our information never changes, the risk never goes away. That's why Xander Insurance is the only program I've ever recommended. Their plan covers all types of ID theft, including home title fraud. And it includes monitoring alerts and takes over the work if you become a victim. They also cover your children for free on their family plan. Visit Xander.com or call 800-356-4282.
At your service since 1951, News Talk, KRMS, Osage Beach, and KRMS FM HD3, Osage Beach.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington. A whole lot of people are on the move for the holiday.
The Labor Day weekend has begun. Millions of Americans will be boarding planes and trains and jamming the country's highways and byways to get to somewhere where they can enjoy the last weekend of summer. Tessie Rodas just flew into Newark Airport and is excited for some family time.
Traveling for the long weekend. My eldest son is having his baby shower this weekend. We came from Puerto Rico.
The Federal Aviation Administration predicts this will be the third busiest holiday weekend of the year so far, behind only the Juneteenth weekend, which included Father's Day and the President's Day break. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Is the Federal Reserve done raising interest rates? Business reporter Jason Brooks.
Following another batch of softening labor market signals with the August jobs report, odds are firmly favoring a pause at the central bank meeting later this month and are leaning that direction for November and December, with slight odds now for a quarter-point rate cut at the December meeting. The gain of 187,000 jobs in August was slightly stronger than expected, but the unemployment rate surged from 3.5 to 3.8%, its highest reading in 18 months, while hourly wage growth also softened from July.
Recreational pot dispensaries in Chicago might get sued.
State's Attorney Patrick Keneally says cannabis dispensaries in McHenry County can avoid having a consumer fraud lawsuit filed against them by prominently posting that cannabis use has been associated with mental health issues. Those include psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia, increased thoughts of suicide, and depression. The dispensaries also have to post that the FDA does not approve cannabis for the treatment of any disease or medical condition. The state of Illinois says legal recreational marijuana sales amounted to more than $1.5 billion last year. Bernie Tafoya for CBS News, Chicago.
The head of soccer's world governing bodies weighing in on the World Cup kiss.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino writes on Instagram, "It never should have happened, but it did." His first comments on the kiss, Spanish soccer chief Luis Rubiales planted on the lips of star player Jenny Hermoso after the World Cup win. Infantino says that victory was spoiled by, quote, what happened after the final whistle and in the following days. FIFA did suspend Rubiales, and Infantino says disciplinary proceedings are continuing. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Wall Street just closed up for the work week with gains for the Dow up 116 points. The Nasdaq off 3 at the close. S&P 500 is up 8. This is CBS News.
When you think of hiring, think of Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring system helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Lake News Now.
I'm John Roger, KRMS Radio News. Our top local stories. 2 more suspects wanted in connection to an August 7th assault in Greenview are now in custody after turning themselves in to the Camden County Sheriff's Office. 22-year-old John Brennan Richardson of Springfield and 22-year-old Jonathan Cosme Ortiz-Copar of Montreal are facing charges of first-degree felony assault and are now being held without bond. Sergeant Scott Hines says a request for information on the suspects published by KRMS News and other media outlets likely played a major role in Richardson and Ortiz-Copar turning themselves in. This makes 4 suspects in custody for the assault following the recent arrest of Aaron Gonzalez and Ramiro Aguilar Garcia. The investigation continues and the sheriff's office says more arrests are possibly expected in the connection to the case. It may be September, but that doesn't mean the city of Osage Beach will be slowing down anytime soon. That according to Parks and Recreation's manager Eric Gregory, who says there are some fun events still lined up for the fall, including the Fall Food Truck Festival, which promises to top the success from the same event which was held during the spring.
It was unexpectedly very, very busy. Some of the trucks ran out of food on Saturday and they had to go get more food, so very popular. So the Fall Food Truck Festival will be even bigger. We have more trucks. We're going to have large bounce houses for kids. There'll be live music. It's going to be a very, very good day.
The Fall Food Truck Festival is set for the weekend of September 23rd and 24th and will run from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. at the Osage Beach City Park. Those interested in setting up a food truck for the day need to act quickly. The deadline to register is today. And a one-vehicle accident just before 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon on Miller County Route A at Tavern Creek sent an Iberia woman and a child to the emergency room. The Highway Patrol says it happened when the van driven by 72-year-old Linda Hodge ran off the road and struck an embankment before going airborne and striking the ground. Hodge was not wearing a seatbelt and escaped with minor injuries. The unidentified 4-year-old girl was also in the car but was properly restrained and suffered minor injuries. Both were taken to the hospital. That's your Lake News Now. I'm John Roger.
The news is sponsored by Heritage Bank of the Ozarks. Visit heritagebankozarks.com.
I'm Jennifer Webster from Heritage Bank of the Ozarks in Camdenton, where you will find everything you need in a bank. Mobile and ATM deposits, person-to-person transfer, and instant issue debit cards. Plus, your dollars stay local. When you bank locally, your local dollars are invested in our local communities with local lenders and local decisions. At Heritage Bank, we are genuinely neighbors serving neighbors. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm meteorologist Laura Lockwood with your News Talk KRMS weatherology forecast. Lots of sunshine this afternoon, high near 84. Tonight, clear, low near 60. Slightly warmer on Saturday. Lots of sunshine, high of 89. Saturday night, clear, low 65. Sunday, high of 92. The current water temperature, sponsored by Captain Ron's Bar and Grill, home of the shootout, is 82 degrees. And the temperature at the studios, right now, 81.
Thanks for listening to Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri. The U.S. Army Reserve has launched a pilot program to help soldiers in the Kansas City area access child care. Elisa Nelson is with Colonel Ellen Coddington, the Reserve's Family Program Director, to talk about this effort.
The reason why we went with the pilot is the most important thing. The number one priority for the Army Reserve is its people, and of course that's our soldiers. The soldiers of the Army Reserve's number one priority. So their quality of life and their well-being is actually first and foremost for us. The Army Reserve wanted reliable, safe child care for our soldiers so that our soldiers can have peace of mind while they're fulfilling their military obligations. The child care option gives us the ability to alleviate some of the financial stresses that are associated with the availability and cost of weekend child care.
Has the pilot program officially launched then, or is that coming down the road?
Oh, yes, ma'am. The pilot officially launched on the 17th of August, and we had a signing ceremony at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So it was officially launched on the 17th, and we have already started the process of briefing units in the Kansas City metropolitan area.
And so this pilot program, as Colonel Coddington said, it includes Clay County, Missouri, Kansas City metro area. And it also includes eastern Iowa. So you said, was it Quad Cities area?
The Quad Cities, yes.
Okay. Talk about why these two areas specifically that the U.S. Army chose to go about doing this pilot program.
Well, when we looked at the two areas, what we wanted to keep in mind is where can we get the most bang for the buck as far as the Army structure, the available structure for the Army Reserve. Kansas City and the Quad Cities both had very dense Army Reserve structure, and we also have very good soldier populations in those areas. But also when you look at the Quad Cities and Kansas City, given that the program's designed to provide the soldiers child care support both where they attend battle assembly and where they live, these two areas draw soldiers from all over the Midwest to include, for example, in the Quad Cities, we pull from Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, travel to the Quad Cities to attend battle assembly, as well as the population that lives and drills there anyways. But then on the Kansas City side we have such a dense population that soldiers come from Kansas, they come from Nebraska, also from Iowa, Arkansas, Illinois, some from Oklahoma. So what we wanted to do was pick two locations that had a huge draw, which helps us identify for the future the demand signals in other locations.
Now, is this just for reserve soldiers, or does it include active duty as well?
The program is designed for Army Reserve soldiers and those soldiers that support the Army Reserve full-time. We do have a full-time workforce, but it is still comprised of Army Reserve soldiers, so they're entitled to the child care option as well as the traditional drilling reserve soldier.
And is there a certain company that the Army is teaming up with on this effort?
For this particular pilot, we are partnering with WeCare, and WeCare has over 100,000 different providers across the United States, and they focus on, their primary focus is on a kind of like a babysitting service for weekend care, short-term care.
Is there a certain period of time that the pilot program will last, and then what?
Well, initially we get into the pilot program, we put it in for a year, and we have certain decision points during the year, at which point we decide whether the program is working and whether to expand it, whether to hold a steady state, again, also whether we should go to other locations. So initially, when we go enter into these agreements, it's for a 12-month period.
Okay. All right. Great. So obviously, helping reserve soldiers get access to child care is important when they go to drill weekend, when they, do their 2 weeks a year and so on and so forth. Has this been a long time coming? Has this been an effort you've been working on for quite some time?
We've been working on it, and we've been for a couple years. This pilot is a spinoff of another pilot because we can't, we don't try not to cross pilots because then we don't get good data. So in recent years, with the retention and recruiting efforts, it's very, very hard to get people to come to battle assembly weekend and to even entertain coming to the Army Reserve if this financial stressor as far as weekend care is hanging out there. It's a huge financial stressor, especially for our junior soldiers who sometimes would pay more in child care than they would bring home on a reserve check. So the program itself is designed to alleviate those financial stressors so the soldier can focus on training and not the care for their children.
So will this involve reimbursement then? Is it set up this way?
No, ma'am. There's no cost out of pocket for the soldier. That goes along with the whole concept that we don't want to have them a financial burden. The soldier is not charged anything. The arrangements and the routing of invoices go through the city of West Liberty and Clay County to We Care, and so there is no out-of-pocket expense for the soldier at all.
And when partnering with West Liberty in Iowa and then Clay County in the Kansas City area, are these particular places, are they obligated to do anything for this? And what does that look like, if so?
Well, actually, when we went out looking for communities to partner with us and organizations to partner with us so we could launch this program, the city of West Liberty and Clay County stepped up and volunteered and were interested in pursuing this as a partnership with the Army Reserve.
Okay, so they were like, sign us up. That's good.
You bet.
That's good. That's good. I can imagine because just here in Missouri alone, child care is a huge issue for the state. So, and I would imagine, yes, the Army is not immune to the problems that we are having with child care access here. So we have Colonel Ellen Coddington, of the U.S. Army, joining Show Me today to talk a little bit about a pilot program that has launched to help Army Reserve soldiers get access to child care. And Ellen is the director of Army Reserve Family Programs. She joins Show Me today to talk a little bit about this test pilot program. Is there anything else that we haven't mentioned that you think is important for the people of Missouri, for Clay County, for West Liberty? Any of those folks that need to hear anything else that we haven't already talked about?
Well, actually, it's important that we want to share that, we want to support our soldiers and their families during all phases of the soldier's life cycle. So that goes from recruitment to retirement, and even into remembrance as the soldiers leave us, we still want to stay connected with their family. The Army Reserve is reinforcing its focus on our people every day so we can adapt to a changing environment that supports the nation. So We Care is one of the many ways that we do this through the Child Care Pilot. The most important thing to remember about the Child Care Pilot is that it's at no cost to the soldier and their family, and it alleviates the financial stressors associated with securing child care during battle assembly and annual training periods. So this enables us and the soldier to focus on their training requirements and indirectly supports the retention and readiness of the Army Reserve.
Colonel Ellen Coddington with U.S. Army Reserve joining Show Me Today. This is Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri.
The Missouri Veterans Home is a long-term skilled care facility. We are definitely different than most long-term care facilities.
The nurses and the help that we have here, they're just such wonderful people. And I really appreciate the kindness and natural people that they are.
Missouri's veterans homes are now accepting admissions. Visit mvc.dps.mo.gov.
If I could be you,
and you could be me, for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
I know I need to pay attention to my health, but I just can't seem to find the time. Between rushing to work and taking care of the kids, there's not much time left over for me. So I decided to start small by eating more fruits and vegetables and being more active. And then I got the family to make some changes too. We started by keeping a bowl of fresh fruit on the counter, and I limit the amount of sweet snacks I keep in the house. I've also found some creative ways to add more vegetables to our meals. We're taking more walks, and on the weekends, we head down to the pool at the rec center. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. You don't have to change your entire life to be healthier. Just make some simple changes and include your family. You'll see how easy and fun it can be.
You can make a difference. Eat smart, play hard. And when you do, your kids will too. A challenge from USDA.
Let's face it, talking about life insurance is never easy. But after we watched a close friend lose her husband with no insurance, we decided that wasn't going to happen to our family.
Yeah, but shopping for life insurance can be almost as difficult as talking about it.
But then we heard about Ethos Life Insurance. They're a new kind of life insurance, built for people on a busy schedule who don't have time for unnecessary doctor's visits, fine print, or hidden fees. You know, who want to keep it simple.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. We answered a few basic questions, and within minutes, we had an estimate of what it would cost and what sort of policy made sense for us.
I never imagined life insurance could be so affordable.
And accessible.
The peace of mind knowing that our future is secure, it just removes a lot of the fear around getting older and...
Yeah, the unexpected.
I'm glad we talked about it.
I'm glad we went with ethoslife.com.
Go to getethos.com now for your free estimate. That's getethos.com. Getethos.com.
We're back on Show Me Today. I'm Bill Pollack. Marshall Griffin found this story. Missouri state parks have a way now for anyone, regardless of ability or age, to get around and explore. Chris Fritchie from the Battle of Lexington Historic Site. Tell us about these special motorized wheelchairs. What do they look like?
Don't think of them like a typical wheelchair. Think of it as a chair sitting on a tank, because they're actual tracks. So you have a track on both sides like a tank would have, which gives you a lot more flexibility on the terrain you're going over. And they've got wheelie bars in the front and the back of you and to help stabilize going up and down hills. It gives you a lot more ability to get around.
And how many of these tracked chairs does the Lexington Historic Site and Confederate Memorial Site have?
So currently there's only 3 track chairs in the state of Missouri for state parks. We have one here at the Battle of Lexington State Historic Site. There's one at Elephant Rock State Park, and one at Bryant Creek State Park. And those could be utilized by anyone. You can either call us up and make a reservation for a time and date. We block out about a 2-hour time window for you to use it. Or if nothing's really going on, you just show up, and if it's available, then we'll go ahead and let you use it.
You're listening to Show Me Today. This is Marshall Griffin. We're speaking with Chris Fritchie. He's the superintendent of the Battle of Lexington State Historic Site and the Confederate Memorial State Historic Site, part of the Missouri State Parks system. So has there been a high demand for these tracked wheelchairs? Is there a waiting list, or does it vary per time of year?
It's probably going to vary between time of year. We'll probably get a lot more action in the spring, summer, and fall. Wintertime, for the most part, most people don't come out to state parks as regularly as those other time periods. And demand is I'm not going to say there's a demand yet, but because of programs like this and because of the written publications we're getting, more and more people are going to realize that we have these in state parks for people to use. And that's our goal. We really want that to happen. We want them to be available to come out and see us, because it's not fair, if you are, stuck into a wheelchair where you are limited in mobility. Wheelchairs are great, but they have a harder time getting around the rougher terrains and stuff, and some just can't even do it. So why are you being excluded when, everyone should be able to come out and visit a state park and be able to experience it just like everyone else? We've had some great responses from the people who have come out and tried it already and came out. We had one gentleman who just had a manual wheelchair, and so him and his wife would just, come out and go around different things and visit different places, but never really had a chance to go out and experience nature the way it was, like if you're an able body. This was the first time they got to hold hands together at the same time while walking on a trail, because he actually had the power to do it himself, and she didn't have to push him or anything like that. So, it's stories like that, and the effects that these things can put on change a life. It's not just I came out and seen a state park. This has really deep changing abilities for people to come out and experience nature.
How do they handle muddy conditions or snow and things like that? Do they give? They're able to handle, I guess, those conditions regardless of. I guess they're able to handle conditions regardless of whether the ground's wet, muddy, dry, snow covered, ice covered.
Yeah, we are kind of restricting them. If it's downpouring, so I don't want people out walking around with that or anything. But on softer terrain, harder terrain. We haven't tried them in the snow yet, but I wouldn't see a reason why it would affect it any different than walking around. It really grips well. I think you'll get more of a better use out of it on a nicer day, of course, and you'll probably feel a lot more enjoyable as you're walking around as well too. So, but mud and everything like that, as long as it's not deep sinking mud, you'll be fine. It's just like walking. I mean, you want to walk through a deep sinking mud area either and lose a shoe or something.
You're listening to Show Me Today. This is Marshall Griffin. We're speaking with Chris Fritchie. He is the superintendent of the Battle of Lexington and Confederate Memorial State Historic Sites, which are located in west central Missouri, not too far from Kansas City. So if you ever want to visit those areas, that's not too far off of I-70. These particular chairs, people can use them, but that need to use them, but they can't be by themselves. Tell us a little bit about the requirements.
So one thing we can't do is we can't put someone into a chair. They have to be able to do it themselves or have someone with them put them in the chair themselves. And so we do need that part. Now, if you can come here on your own and you can get in the chair by yourself, you can use it by yourself. You don't necessarily have to have another person. But if you can't get into the chair by yourself and you have to have someone else and someone has to be with you, and that's more of a safety issue and a concern, just in case something does happen, someone come and get help, or we can go out and help them that way. Also, children have to be with an adult, so whether it's their parent or sibling or something like that, over the age of 18, to be able to use the chairs as well too.
I'm assuming there's some type of restraints in the chair as well, like I guess seat belts for them. I'm assuming.
Correct. So there are seat belts within the chairs. There's also leg restraints in the chairs too to keep your legs stationary if you don't have mobility in your legs or anything. That way, kind of like the same thing as a regular wheelchair would have as well. And like I said, the other safety features too is the anti-roll in the front and the back. And then it's pretty wide base, so there really isn't too much of a side roll to it at all.
What about somebody who wants to use the chairs and maybe have their pet dog, if it's a small enough dog, or a kid ride with them?
Let's say they have a service dog or something like that wants to ride with them, and they need that for their disability. That's fine. No children though, or anything like that. There's no two people riding on the chair at the same time. That would be a safety concern.
First, how are they powered? I'm assuming they're electric. Is that right?
Yeah, they are battery operated. I ran the chair just to test it out for about 4 hours and never ran out of power. And of course, it's all dependent on weight, of how much a person weighs or anything like that. The lighter you are, the longer use you would get out of it. It's kind of like an electric bike in that sense. We put them out for 2 hours at a time. That way, it gives the person to come back, and then we can put it back on the charger for the next person to come use it as well, so they would actually have a full 2 hours as well. And we can do that approximately 3 times a day. Let's
kind of revisit the response of people who've used these chairs and what they think of them. Can you recount any customer experiences or visitor experiences using these chairs?
Yeah, so I can go 2 real quick. One was a lady who came in, and she had some mobility issues. She's been in a electric wheelchair for a while now, and we told her about it, and she went out to go use it. And she was approximately in her 70s, 80s of age group, and she just got excited. And her son got her on the chair, and man, she took off like a bat, and she just had a blast running around and testing all the features out and seeing everywhere they could go. She had fun. The first person I had actually was a more memorable story. That was, to me, a gentleman who has never had a chance to go out in the nature because of the little bit mobility he had, and the equipment that he had really didn't dictate him going on trails or anything. So him and his wife came. She wanted to surprise him with a visit. And when he first saw the chairs, his eyes just lit up. He thought this was just the greatest thing ever. And they got him in the chair and showed him it's not very hard to manipulate the chair, and I showed him how to use it. And off they went. And 2 hours they came back. And since he was my first one, I had to ask him how the experience was. and they were so overjoyed, and it was the feelings they had was just incredible. Like I said, it's the first time he really went out and got out to do this nature walk with his wife, and it was the first time he got to hold his wife's hand while they were walking, because normally he was either pushing his wheelchair himself or she was pushing him. With the electric, they could actually walk side by side next to each other, him controlling the chair and her just walking next to him. And it was a memory that they'll have for forever now.
Are there any plans to get more of these chairs, not just for your state park site, but state parks around Missouri?
We are requesting more chairs for more state parks, so it's more available at as many state parks we possibly can. Being inclusive, I think, is an important element that Missouri State Parks is going through right now. And it's not just with the track chairs; it's going to be with different watercraft as well. You know, special ways to get people on the water for kayaking and stuff, or just be more inclusive in general.
And that was Christopher Fritchie. He is the superintendent of the Battle of Lexington State Historic Site and the Confederate Memorial State Historic Site, talking about track wheelchairs that enable people who have mobility issues to be able to get out on the trails themselves. If you're tuning in late or want to hear more, subscribe to Show Me Today on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. You're listening to Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri.
10 years ago, Papo's set out to make a better pizza with fresher ingredients and fewer additives.
At Papo's, we keep it real and we keep it fresh.
Huge congratulations to Papo's, 10 years.
A lot has changed in the last decade, but not our pizza. From our first restaurant in Springfield to our newest in Lee Summit and stores 10 and 11, coming soon to Branson and Camdenton, we're still here to keep it real and keep it fresh. So cheers to you, our amazing customers, and here's to another 10 years.
There's no better feeling than grilling out, and there's no better place than Porter's Ace to get the best grill for your family. We stock brands from Weber, Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blackstone Griddles, and Uni Pizza Ovens. You won't find these premium brands and service at a warehouse store, only at Porter's Ace, the people who know their grills. Porter's Ace and Lori. Porter's, we're here to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hewlett Chevrolet Buick GMC in Camdenton has just received the honor of being voted the best service department in Missouri. They're very proud of this honor and promise to continue to provide the best-in-class service to everyone in the lake area. They'll fix your car right the first time and get you back on the road ASAP. You're invited to come see why Hewlett has been voted #1 in service. Hewlett Chevrolet Buick GMC in Camdenton. See you soon.
Shop Hewlett.
ShopHewlett.com. Can the county outlaw puppies and then turn around and fine you if Fido actually has a few? What if they single out your particular breed of dog or cat for special restrictions? Can you stop them? I'm Curtis Howard. Together we'll explore these and other actual court cases and the decisions handed down by the judges. See if you agree.
Point of Law, weekday mornings at 7:35. Sponsored by the Law Office of Christopher Rohr on Osage Beach Parkway next to Golden Corral.
Portions of our programming are pre-recorded. Picture this. You're lounging on a pristine beach in Mexico. The soft sand beneath your feet, the sun kissing your skin, and the gentle sound of waves lulling you into a state of pure relaxation. No more icy winds, no more snow shoveling, just endless sunshine and serenity. Say goodbye to the winter blues and hello to the ultimate getaway. You're on the KRMS Beat the Winter Blues trip, Part 2 to Costa Mujeres, one of the most exclusive areas of the Mexican Caribbean side, just a few minutes north of Cancun. We'll stay at the Riu Latino. It's an all-adult, all-inclusive 5-star luxury resort. We'll fly nonstop out of St. Louis to Cancun January 13th and return the 20th. It's a short bus ride from the airport to the resort, where you'll enjoy 5 incredible outdoor pools, 4 gourmet restaurants, endless white sand beaches, and turquoise water. All for just $17.99 per person. Call Kim at Direct Travel in the Outlet Mall. 309-205-5749. That's 309-205-5749. 5749. You can get more information and sign up for this trip by going to one of our radio station websites and clicking on Beat the Winter Blues. This winter, trade in your snow boots for flip-flops and your scarves for swimsuits. It's time to experience the magic of Mexico with KRMS Radio and TV.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
This is Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri. We're going to get another area code. Scott Roop of the Missouri Public Service Commission explains to Anthony Morabith.
Covers a big swath of geographic area. Most of us kind of think mid-Missouri. That just kind of gives you a good mental picture. We just started running out of phone numbers and needed to make a change so that people that need new phone numbers can actually get one.
It reminds me of, basically where I was growing up. I mean, where I grew up, it has like 3 or 4 different area codes, and it just kind of reminds me of kind of what you were talking about. Population is growing, running out of phone numbers. We need to get a new area code to kind of help offset that.
Exactly, and this has happened in multiple different parts of the state. It's constantly happened around the country, and it just, so many digits, you can only change those in order so much. There's a finite, it's not an infinite number of phone numbers. And we were projecting that in, beginning of 2025, you would be out of phone numbers. And since we've been working on this for the last, year and a half, we've kind of now updated that to like the third quarter of 2024 is when we think the last one would be out. So what we've done is they've put a new 235 area code on top of the 573 area code. So no one has to change a number. No one will lose their phone number. It's just new numbers coming on will be a 235 area code that serves the same area as the 573. And that's why you have to dial the 10 numbers, because not everybody in your geographic area may have that 573 area code. Some new people might have 235.
You want to talk about the advent and the changing of technology. The one thing that immediately crosses my mind is in the not too distant past, we were still able to dial just the final 4 numbers of a phone number just to reach our next door neighbor. And now, as of 2024, we're going to start having to dial the full 10-digit numbers. It's crazy how far technology and time has gone.
I looked at my mom, and she grew up on a party line where, the phone would ring and everyone's home, and then they were 2 longs and a short. So 2 long rings and a short ring, and that was for their house. And they would pick up and the phone would be them, but then everybody could listen on to their phone calls. And just think of how much we've come, like you were saying, and think of cell phones. I mean, now there's so many more cell phones, and people have maybe one for their personal or one for their work, and then their kids have cell phones, and you just start running out of numbers so quickly. And that's why you have to do this overlay, is what they call it. It's an area code overlay with a new 235 prefix.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I was actually going to ask. It was defined as an overlay area code, so they're just adding a new 235 area code to the part of Missouri that has the 573 area code. And I guess I would kind of sum that up to basically say a sizable portion of mid-Missouri and basically eastern Missouri, not including St. Louis.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, it's literally like you're laying a blanket on the grass. It's you're laying a new area code over a certain area that is already covered by 573, and now it'll be a 235. So, your friend might get a new cell phone, and he might be a 235 area code, but live right next door to you.
But amidst that, it's still going to be, I guess, what you would call a local phone number. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is. It's because it's the same geographic area as the current 573. So it still is. It's just in order to get the right person, you're going to have to dial the full 10 digits to make sure that that number goes to the right person.
If I have a 573 area code and say I'm dialing a 314 or a whatever, would that be constituted as a quote-unquote long-distance line, even though, I don't know, someone lives 5 minutes from me and they have that phone number or a 235 or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it gets kind of tricky in how some cell coverages do that and stuff. But the old landlines, yeah, it would definitely be considered a long-distance viewer in another area code. But, with the different cell plans and the cell coverages that they have now, it's not as delineated as much as it was in the old days. And it kind of just would depend on, on your carrier and where, are you calling from a cell phone or a landline and that nature. But everybody that has a 573 number and you're trying to call a 235 number, it's not going to be a long-distance call.
We're talking with Scott Roop, chairman of the Missouri Public Service Commission, on Show Me today. There's a new dialing procedure coming to the 573 area code in Missouri, which I guess I would simplify by very simply saying the 573 area code covers most of eastern Missouri, not including the city and the region of St. Louis. And there's a new overlay area code. It is 235. And Scott was basically saying that it's not going to change any of our phone numbers. We're just going to have to start dialing the full 10 digits. So let's talk about that a little bit. A 6-month period where residents can dial their neighbor using either the 7 or 10 digits. But by February of 2024, they'll have to start dialing the full 10.
Yeah. So they want to ease people into it to get them used to it because, an abrupt change, and it's hard to get information out to everyone. So they didn't want an abrupt change. So there is that a length of time where both will work. But then there is a hard cutoff date of which, in order for that call to go through, you would need to have the full 10 digits.
I thought of two interesting questions I wanted to bring up. And the first is this going to change having to dial the 3-digit numbers like 911 and 511 and 988 and et cetera?
No, it hasn't. And that's one of the things that, we've been working on, since the first came to our attention back in 2022, and they were ringing the alarm bells that, hey, we think in 2025 you're going to run out of phone numbers, is making sure that the 211s, the 811s, and the 911s, those 3 digits, will still be able to be accessed by everybody, regardless of what your prefix is. So, yes, those things will still work. The suicide hotline, the dig right, the information, and 911 emergency services, all will still work. Yes.
Whether you are a manager, whether you're a business owner, whether it's a business owner of a business that employs 5,000 people or simply 5 people. I would have to assume, Scott, this is going to affect safety and security equipment like your alarms, your security systems, your medical alert devices, and things like that.
Yeah, I think most of those, they have the ability to be like reprogrammed on a large scale. But this is something that comes up to us. Like let's say you have a new hospital that comes in and they need a whole bunch of phone numbers. But we're running out of phone numbers. You have to get like approval for those to be able to go through, so people aren't just hoarding. You can't have a business to say, well, I'm going to take 5,000 numbers and just park them and never use them. So they kind of have to get approval so that they know that if they're coming in, hey, if you're putting in a new system, we think that there's a new overlay coming. You should prepare for that or be able to reprogram very quickly rather than having to, go through all of your different devices.
So there is a 6-month period where residents can dial their neighbor using either the 7 or 10 digits, and it basically goes through February. But by February, they will have to dial the full 10-digit number. So that is the 573 and then the 3-number prefix and then the final 4, the full 10-digit number. And then I'm assuming, Scott, final question, in March of 2024, new phone numbers will receive a 235 area code.
Yes, that is correct. So if you're getting a new phone number, you're going to be given the 235 because we basically exhausted the 573s. So the new phone numbers coming out will be in that new area code prefix that is there.
Running out of phone numbers, as it were. Scott, was there anything else you wanted to mention before we bring this discussion to a close?
The only thing is, if you forget and you only dial the 7 numbers, you'll get a little recording like, doo-doo-doo, hey, you need to dial. It will remind you on your phone. It's not like it will ring endlessly and no one will answer. So you will be reminded that, oh, that's right, I need to dial the extra 3 digits. And it does take a little bit to get used to, especially with some, pre-programmed numbers in your brain or in your phone. But after, most people adapt to it very, very quickly.
And if you're just tuning in late or want to hear more, subscribe to Show Me Today on Google Podcasts, wherever it is you get your podcasts. Look up Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri. And this is Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri.
Connecting Missouri means affordable internet and endless opportunities, jobs, education, healthcare, and family connections. Join the Affordable Connectivity Program for up to a $30 monthly discount on home internet. Check eligibility at connectmissouri.org or call 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575. Funding provided by FCC, empowering Missouri through connectivity.
Having enough food is a concern for many Missouri families, and it isn't restricted to rural or urban areas. As many as 1 in 8 Missourians face food insecurity every day. Among children, the numbers are even higher. To ensure Missouri children have the food they need to thrive, Missouri's agricultural community launched Drive to Feed Kids 6 years ago. Visit mofarmerscare.com/drive to learn more and join the efforts.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 12 years old. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
For over 70 years, MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at MDA.org today.
When severe weather threatens our area, get the information you need from News Talk KRMS. We utilize the latest technology to analyze impending weather as it approaches our area. Our meteorologists prepare you for anything from ice and snow to severe thunderstorms or worse. Our severe weather coverage is sponsored by California Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in California. Visit CaliforniaChrysler.com to see their new and used inventory. Listen for severe weather updates from News Talk KRMS.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. Take action and get the help you need from InventHelp.
Call 1-800-215-7345. That's 1-800-215-7345. Again, 1-800-215-7345.
This is Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri. I'm Bill Pollack. Welcome back. I think I've told this story before. I was big into, when I feel a cold coming on, to take zinc, and then people were telling me about elderberry, and I found that at the pharmacy, and I started taking that. I swear by either one of them, it certainly reduces your cold symptoms. And then as we've been doing this Show Me Today program, we've talked about elderberry on the program, and come to find out there's quite a few farms here in Missouri that grow elderberry, and so this isn't just something that was in my head. There are benefits to elderberry, and my next two guests know about those benefits. In fact, so much so that they partnered up to open up a farm to grow elderberry. So joining us is Susan Smith and Amelia Rizzuto. Welcome to both of you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Susan and Amelia, for both of you, do you have a background in being farmers?
Absolutely not.
I'm from New York, but definitely no.
Well, that's what makes this story even crazier. All right, so Amelia, I'll start with you. How did you find out first about elderberry and its health benefits?
So I have Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed when I was a little kid, and I was struggling with just my immune system. I was on a lot of immunosuppressant medications, and I was constantly sick. And so I just I went back to school for holistic nutrition, trying to heal my body. And I was trying to figure out, like, what do I do during the winter to stay well? And I read about elderberries. And as I continued reading, I learned that Missouri is one of the leading growers. And so I was able to get fresh elderberries locally and fresh honey, local honey, and just started kind of playing in my kitchen to make this elixir.
And then you saw the benefits immediately, or did it take some time?
It does take a little time. I mean, you can see it immediately if you're already sick. So like if you wake up and you're sick, you can start taking the elixir every 2 to 3 hours. And, a lot of the doctors, they kind of say, think of it like a Tamiflu. So if you can catch it right at onset and start, like Sue and I both know, we just stick a cork in our bottles, and every 2 to 3 hours we walk by the fridge and just take a swig out of it. And it significantly lowers the duration of how long you're sick. Yeah.
Susan, what about you? How did you stumble upon elderberry?
Well, actually, by being a friend of Amelia's, she told me about this wonderful product. And that's how I stumbled upon it, is she told me about how she was making this on her sink, and it started getting really big, and she was selling it out of her trunk. And her husband was saying, "Oh, I don't think this is so smart," because she started having lots of clients. And that's how I learned about elderberry. And I was looking for natural health remedies for different ailments that I was having. So that's how it all started.
So this started out as trunk or treat, selling elderberry out of your car. And so at what point, Susan or Amelia, either one of you can answer this, at what point do you get the idea of, you know what, we should just open up our own farm and start growing elderberry?
Well, we had met a man named Dave Beeler from Elder Farms, and we were buying product from him, the actual raw product of the elderberry juice. And that's how he basically said, you all need to have your own farm, because Europe is the only place that has, 97% or 95% of the growth of elderberries that are made in the products in America come from Europe. And he said, Missouri is going to be the bellwether state for elderberries. And he said, you need to start growing your own. And then that way we could also be in charge of the organic part of it and how they're grown and just how much we need.
Susan Smith and Amelia Rizzuto are friends. They stumbled upon elderberry, and they decided to open up a farm. Amelia is from New York. Susan has no background in farming, but you've jumped into this. How long? What's the name of your farm, and how long have you been operating?
Well, the name of our farm is not Elder Farms, I'm sorry. It is Hidden Holler Farms. We also have an Airbnb on our farm, which is our guest house. And we've been in business since 2019, but the farm we've only owned for 3 years. So we planted 3 years ago. So this is our first season where we actually have beautiful flowers and elderberries.
Amelia,
so it's been quite the journey.
Yeah. Amelia, your farm is just outside of the Herman area in kind of central Missouri, central eastern Missouri. Do you get a lot of business from outside the state? Is it mostly in-state? Where are you finding your customers?
Mostly in-state, but we've really expanded a lot. So the name of our company is actually All Things Elderberry. That's like our elderberry company where we sell products. So we have a website, and we now have a lot of stores locally, but we're also expanding into like the surrounding states. And on our website, it's amazing. We get orders from all over the country. I don't even know how they're finding us, but they are.
For either one of you, in terms of the benefits, and Amelia, you had kind of mentioned honey, and I know people, you can take honey, and it's good for your allergies and all that, and they say, boy, local honey is better. Are there benefits of having local elderberry as opposed to buying something over the counter where the product may have come from Europe?
Well, it's not a regulated industry, so there's been a lot of, unfortunately, reports where people are subbing with like rice bran and other things and claiming that it's elderberry. So you're always better off, if you know the people that are growing it. Like our process is we grow the berry and then we juice it. So we call it our first press elderberry juice. And that's what we use to make our elixirs and our elder honey. So yeah, I think it's always best if you know the farm is local and you know what people are spraying and what the regulations are. If it's coming from out of the country, we've kind of learned along the way that even sometimes if things say organic, you just don't know because, there's just a signed document or a little payoff or something, and you don't really know. Like I said, it's not a regulated industry. So I think anything you can buy from people that you know and locally is going to be better.
Susan, how big is your farm? How many elderberry plants do you have? And give us an idea of just what a typical day is of harvesting elderberry.
Well, our families together bought a 152-acre farm, and we have 5 acres of elderberries. So we originally planted 9,200 elderberry plants. So a typical day right now for me is every morning I go out and I look for berries. It's still pretty early for the full harvest. The full harvest is like late July and all through August, but we're starting to get some berries now that are really purple. So they're really pretty. The flowers are really pretty too. So my typical day is I walk the rows in the morning, pick the berries, and then we clean them, destem them, clean them, and put them in the freezer, and then later we will juice them.
I can tell that both of you ladies are legit, and this isn't some scheme to get rich quick because you've...
That's funny.
Yeah, well, and I say that because, and I say that to the listeners because Amelia found this by just her health obstacles and saw that it worked. And then you look at the number of hours and the amount of work that you're putting in to create this product. So you certainly believe in it and stand behind it. And so it's legit, folks. I mean, if you have not tried elderberry before, it does work. It's got medicinal benefits and it does make you feel better quicker. So for either one of you, people that are interested in trying your product, any suggestions, and then where can they find your stuff?
So I would say, allthingselderberry.com is a great place to find our stuff, and we're going to offer your listeners a 20% discount on their first order if they just use the code Missouri. And I do suggest that, it depends on, we always tell people, it depends on what you need. So if you have some inflammation or if you want something for more chronic issues like chronic sinus or chronic respiratory, our elixir, I think, is always the best product because that is our fresh pressed elderberry juice, local Missouri honey. We add ginger, cinnamon, clove, and just a little bit of lemon juice. That's all that's in there. And then we also have a great gummy. So if someone in the family doesn't want to drink that or kids sometimes don't like it, we've got a delicious tasting gummy as well. Those are our 2 main kind of immune products. And we've got a great elder honey, which is an amazing drink mixer. It makes great mocktails and cocktails. So we definitely have a lot of fun stuff to try.
Allthingselderberry.com is the website. And your code for Show Me Today listeners is Missouri. And Amelia and Susan will give you 20% off your first purchase. Susan Smith and Amelia Rizzuto, best of luck, and thank you for sharing more information with us on elderberry. This is Show Me Today, the voice of Missouri.
The Missouri Veterans Home is a long-term skilled care facility. We are definitely different than most long-term care facilities.
The nurses and the help that we have here, they're just such wonderful people. And I really appreciate the kindness and natural people that they are.
Missouri's veterans homes are now accepting admissions. Visit mvc.dps.mo.gov.
As many as 1 in 8 Missourians face food insecurity every day, and among children, the numbers are even higher. The Drive to Feed Kids Hogs for Hunger program gives Missouri pig farmers and 4-H and FFA swine exhibitors the opportunity to address hunger in their communities by committing pigs locally or at the Missouri State Fair. 1 pig can feed more than 500 Missourians in need. Learn how you can participate at mofarmerscare.com/drive.
Hey man, stop flipping the channels. Sorry, I've never seen so many stations. Hello? How's the ride? Oh, it's sweet. I got all the bells and whistles. Satellite radio.
Hey, I was listening to
navigation system.
Yo, you just missed the stop sign.
Hold on, I just got a text. I'll put you on speaker. 2 DVD players. Wait, hey man, how do you spell? Look out!
Near train tracks, stay focused, stay alive. Brought to you by Operation Lifesaver. www.oli.org.
Having enough food is a concern for many Missouri families, and it isn't restricted to rural or urban areas. Missouri Farmers Care Drive to Feed Kids opens the door for every Missourian to make a difference in the fight against hunger in our state. All proceeds are dedicating to feeding Missouri's network food banks who work daily to alleviate hunger. Visit mofarmerscare.com/drive to learn more and join the effort.
Connecting Missouri means affordable internet and endless opportunities, jobs, education, healthcare, and family connections. Join the Affordable Connectivity Program for up to a $30 monthly discount on home internet. Check eligibility at connectmissouri.org or call 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575. Funding provided by FCC, empowering Missouri through connectivity.
1 in 7 Missouri children is food insecure, not knowing where their next meal may come from. Drive to Feed Kids is a year-round effort of Missouri farmers, agribusiness, and farm groups to address food insecurity in our state. Through meal packing events, gifted food products, hog processing, and monetary donations, the ag community provides support to the agencies serving our most vulnerable citizens. Visit mofarmerscare.com/drive to learn more. That's mofarmerscare.com/drive.
All right, football is off and rolling. We got the Mizzou Tigers. Thursday night, we had several Division II football schools kick off their schedules. And tonight, Missouri State is taking on the hated Kansas Jayhawks. And then on Saturday, the Southeast Missouri Redhawks out of Cape Girardeau will be taking on Kansas State. So we'll get an early preview of the nationally ranked Wildcats. They'll be playing Mizzou in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned to this station and find out when our weekend Show Me Today program will air in your area. Thanks for listening.
Show me today.
There comes a day when every boy
becomes a man. And some men become manly men.
And some men, only very special men, don't just become a man. They become your dependable man. The amazing man with power over the elements, using his incredible water softening and reverse osmosis powers to change.
Hey, whoa. No hard sell. Just soft water.
Lindy Spring Lake of the Ozarks is your home for the dependable waterman. With water filtration and reverse osmosis systems that give you better water for your whole house. Get a free estimate. Visit LindySpringLakeOfTheOzarks.com.
Join KRMS for our West Side Social, Wednesday, September 6th at Red's Barbecue on Highway 5 at the north end of Laurie. Enjoy complimentary appetizers and the lake's best networking starting at 5 p.m. Everyone's welcome. Meet great people, get new business, and there are no dues to pay. The social on September 6th is sponsored by Laurie Sunrise Beach Rotary. West Side Socials are presented by News Talk KRMS, 93.5 Rocks, Classic Country 104.9, 98.7 The Cove,
since
and KRMS TV
News
32.
Talk KRMS Osage Beach and KRMS FM HD3 Osage Beach.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington. So how are you spending the Labor Day holiday weekend?
Traveling with my cousin. We're going to go southern border, so we're going to do some barbecue.
About 148 million people are going somewhere. Many are flying. And those who opt to drive are spending just a little more to fill their cars up with gas for the trip.
While it's nearly the same as last year, AAA says it's higher than normal for the holiday. Baba Javier is driving from Los Angeles to Arizona.
I'm not going to let the gas prices affect what we do right now. It does hurt, not going to lie.
CBS's Chris Van Cleve. A pretty good jobs report came out this morning.
American employers added 187,000 jobs in August. It's seen as evidence of a slowing but still strong labor market. President Joe Biden.
We created more jobs in 2 years than any president ever created in a single four-year term.
The unemployment rate rose to 3.8%, the highest level since February of last year, though still low by historical standards. The proportion of Americans who either have a job or are looking for one rose in August to nearly 63%. That's the highest since just before the COVID-19 pandemic. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
2 members of the Proud Boys were sentenced today for their part in the January 6 riot. Here's CBS's Chris Cruz.
Dominic Pizzola wasn't a leader of the group. He was a new member, but he stole a police officer's riot shield and used it to smash a window. He was the only one of 5 defendants to be acquitted of seditious conspiracy, but he was convicted of other felonies and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Ethan Nordine was a leader of the group. He was convicted of seditious conspiracy and sentenced to 18 years in prison.
A federal judge in Delaware wants a status report regarding charges against Hunter Biden. Here's correspondent Catherine Herridge.
The two-part deal on misdemeanor tax and a gun defense was supposed to conclude the 5-year investigation. But in July, the federal judge Mary Ellen Noreika hit pause, citing irregularities. The judge has already dismissed the misdemeanor tax case, and prosecutors have indicated they may pursue charges in other jurisdictions.
If you have student loans, get ready to start paying up again. Business reporter Jason Brooks with details.
A 3.5-year moratorium on student loan payments and interest accrual is ending, with interest once again accruing starting today and payments scheduled to resume in October. Around 44 million Americans will have to factor those loan payments into their monthly budgets.
Those who graduated college during the pandemic have never made a payment. Stocks posted solid weekly gains ahead of the holiday weekend. The Dow's closing up 116 points, NASDAQ off 3, S&P 500 up 8. This is CBS News.
You need to hire fast and hire right? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Lake News now.
I'm John Roger, KRMS Radio News. Our top local stories. With the Labor Day holiday weekend upon us, the Lake of the Ozarks will no doubt be a busy place on and off the water. And with the increased activity, if you're going to hit the water, Captain Bob May from the Water Safety Council says that your safety and the safety of those with you begins with life jackets.
I know it's uncomfortable sometimes to be wearing one, but you can have it out, you can sit on it, you can put your feet on it, put it in between you and another passenger. The key is that they are out and accessible. There's a lot of accidents around the country everywhere where people are injured or ended up dying, and it could have been prevented.
May also says before hitting the water, you should familiarize yourself with the rules of boating. Run the blower on your boat before and after fueling up, and use an engine cutoff lanyard and make sure you have a sober operator. The holiday weekend starts tonight and will end on Monday night. A nationwide test of the emergency alert system and the wireless emergency alert system is scheduled for early October. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is coordinating with the Federal Communications Commission to carry out the test, which will happen on Wednesday, October the 4th, starting around 1:20 p.m. Central Time. There will be one test directed to all consumer cell phones and a second test directed to all cellular devices, with a message to be displayed indicating that it's only a test and no action is needed. The alerts will also be accompanied by a unique tone and a vibration. And if you don't like the snow, then you're probably not going to appreciate the just released winter prognostics by the Farmer's Almanac. When all the expected variables are factored in, the almanac is saying that colder than normal temperatures and above average levels of snowfall are on the way for the Northeast and the Midwest. And when will all the white stuff start arriving? The Farmer's Almanac says to have your winter clothes and shovels ready starting in November. Storms, showers, and flurries are expected to continue through the start of spring into 2024. Get a more in-depth look at the news on our website. Just go to krmsradio.com. That's your Lake News Now. I'm John Roger.
This news sponsored by the Driftwood Spa and Salon at Margaritaville. Repeat customer Ron visits Driftwood Spa every month.
Today I came for a haircut. Haley cut my hair, and then we went for a massage. And Melissa did a fantastic job like she always does. It's just an excellent place just to come and relax. You leave totally refreshed, invigorated.
Hi, this is Shelley from the Driftwood Spa and Salon at Margaritaville. We are located in the Driftwood building next to the indoor pool, and our new salon is directly across the street. Come drift away with us.
It's week 2 of the high school football season tonight over on 93.5 Rocks the Lake and KRMS TV 32.11 and the LOZ app. It's Camdenton and Kickapoo. Both teams are 1-0. I tell you what, they've had some classic encounters over the years. We'll see if we're in store for another one tonight. I think we are. We've got pregame, Summit Natural Gas pregame at 6 o'clock. Kickoff is at 7. School of the Osage looking to bounce back after a tough loss at Jefferson City last week. They are home against Moberly. You can hear it. Guy Wayman, Tony Herman, they've got it for you on Classic Country 104.9. Eldon's 1-0. They are home against 1-0 Owensville tonight. Versailles 1-0 at 1-0 Warsaw. Some fun matchups between undefeated teams tonight And again, those games are scheduled to kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. Mizzou football raised the curtain on their 2023 season last night. They beat South Dakota 35-10. No real sweat, but wasn't exactly a dominant performance either by the Tigers. Brady Cook does throw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown. And again, after the game, Coach Eli Drinkwitz said that Cook had the leg up in the battle for starting quarterback over Sam Horn, who did play in the second half. From the KRMS Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Matthews.
I'm meteorologist Laura Lockwood with your News Talk KRMS weatherology forecast. Mainly clear, low near 60. Lots of sunshine on Saturday, high of 89. Saturday night, mainly clear, low near 65. Sunday, sunny, high of 92. Sunshine continues Labor Day with a high of 91 degrees. The current water temperature, sponsored by Captain Ron's Bar and Grill, home of the shootout, is 83 degrees. And the temperature at the studios, right now, 82.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starn. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
Betty Glover of Phoenix, Oregon, has been ringing up groceries for the past 10 years. She loves her customers, loves her job. But it's time for Betty to retire. Her eyesight, not what it used to be, macular degeneration. Problem is, Betty did not have enough savings to quit her job. 91 years old and still bagging groceries. And Betty's not alone. The Census Bureau says about 49% of adults 55 to 65 don't have anything saved for retirement. One day, someone suggested GoFundMe, so Betty did just that. And within a matter of days, she raised nearly $75,000, more than double what she had asked, more than enough to pay for rent, medication, and groceries. And after a lifetime of work, she officially resigned. She plans to spend her twilight years visiting her grandkids and great-grandkids, and Betty is able to do just that, all because of the generosity of strangers. I'm Todd Starnes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's the Ozarks Today on News Talk KRMS.
And good afternoon, 410 on News Talk, 1150 KRMS 97.5 and 103.3. We are broadcasting from the Radio TV Center in Mid-Missouri. We are KRMS Radio and TV. It is a Friday afternoon. Not only that, it is a high school football day. Not only that, it is the first day of September. And not only that, it is the first day of fall, if we are weather people. Otherwise, we still got a little bit to go as far as summer is concerned. Coming up on the program, we have Ellen from the Dogwood Animal Shelter standing by in just a moment. We'll also hear from Bill Robbins from KRMS News. He is down in Florida telling us about his close call. We'll hear some KJP-isms in the next hour, along with the Camdenton Laker feature of the week. And we'll hear from Mark Carr from the Lake Ozark Fire District talking about the a couple of his men down there in Florida, and we'll hear the song of the week as well.
And not only that, you're back in the studio.
Yay! After watching Mizzou play down to the competition last night, but that's a different story. We'll talk about that after we talk with Ellen. And thank you again to Guy filling in yesterday, so I can go up there and meet up my cousin from St. Louis to watch the Tigers beat South Dakota, whatever they're called, Coyotes, 35-10. Let's see. The Dogwood Animal Report is brought to you by Doc Realty at the lake. Doc Realty can help you out with a little bit of everything: buyer and seller services, dock designing, inspections, permits, you name it. Give them a call. They're located over in Lake Ozark, 573-374-8849. Toll free 866-DOC-REALTY. That translates to 362-7589. Ellen, Man,
Yeah.
where did this week go?
Boy, hey, I don't know.
Well, it's been...
But I have an appropriate dog for you today.
Okay, well, I'm waiting for that. Let's hear it.
His name is Sailor.
Sailor?
And he was found on a dock here at the lake.
Oh, cool.
So that's why he's named Sailor.
Well, tell us a little more about Sailor.
Okay, he is. He's very friendly. He gets along with people, other dogs. He weighs about 50 pounds, but he's through growing. He loves water. He walks good on a leash. He's very smart, and staff says sometimes he's too smart for his own good. He loves to go out on a boat. We've had a volunteer take him out on a boat. He loves to run with you. He is a great dog if you've got a household full of energy and, on the go all the time. He will do a great job for you. And he is very, very lovable. So come see Sailor. And even if you're a landlubber, he runs really good on a leash also. So come see Sailor. He's looking for his home.
And you said he's good with felines?
Yes, he is.
Then I don't want him. Then I don't want him. I want him to get rid of mine. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Other one is Winston. Winston is about 3 years old. He's a hound mix. He is very loving. He is really fun. He loves to fetch. He gets along with everybody. He is also pretty intelligent. He's almost housebroke. He was not housebroke when he was brought to us. He loves other dogs. He loves children. He also gets along with just everybody. He is kind of a gentle giant. You look at him and think, oh my gosh, this dog is big. But he is very gentle. We've had him play with our puppies, and he knows they're little, and he just gets along with them great. So Winston is another dog that is one of our best ones, and you need to come in and take a look at him.
I'll tell you what, his color design is awesome, too.
It is. It really is. So we've got some great dogs at the shelter. So if you're considering adding another friend to your family, please come see us.
They both look like the types that will not stop licking you.
That's true. That is very true.
Anyway, okay, so we got Sailor and we got Winston over there at the shelter. And as far as when you are open so people can plan ahead.
We are open. We're going to be closed on Monday. But we will be open after that every Monday through Friday from 10 until 5 and 10 to 4 on Saturday. You can go to the website and fill out an application. If you have a particular animal you're interested in, please put that on your application. It takes us about 24 to 48 hours to get that completed for you. And then we will call you, and you can come and meet your next best friend.
And I was going to say, do that in advance so you can plan because, the sooner you get it done, the sooner the shelter can get it done.
That's correct. That is correct. You can also go online and fill out a volunteer app and a foster app. We are having volunteer orientation every month. So get that in so that you can join us for the orientation this month. I don't have a date yet, but it'll be towards the end of the month. Okay. And at the thrift store, we're having what we are calling a pop-up sale. Tomorrow, we are going to have a big sale. And not only are we having a sale, but if you bring a 10-pound bag of dog food or cat food, we're going to give you a 10% discount. So our community pantry is kind of bare, and we have people in our community who are looking to feed their animals. So if you can, bring us a 10-pound bag of animal food, and we will be sure and give you 10% off of what's already on sale.
I'll tell you what, you go to the DAS lakeoftheozarks.com for the shelter's website, and this is one of them things where you'll have your mind on one, then you'll get there, you'll see another one, and you'll be like, well, okay, maybe not so on the first one. I mean, I'm looking at a couple others, all due respect to Sailor and Winston, but, you've got Bluey on there, you've got Gabby on there, and I'll tell you what, man, there are some good-looking dogs on there, and Bluey looks like he would just jump right up in your lap.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Any events other than the pop-up coming up?
We were kind of waiting for the heat to subside. I don't have any set date, but we will be out in the community in September. So take a look at our website. Also, we send Constant Contact out twice a week. So check your Constant Contact, and if you want to be on that list, get a hold of us. We'll get you right on it. You can read there where our upcoming events are going to be happening at.
For those who don't know, where is the thrift store?
It is in Camdenton at 251 Business 5. If you go to the big intersection, we're on the, well, I guess it depends on what way you're coming from, huh?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay, all right. So it's just a block or two down from the main light, right across from the church.
Right.
It's got a great big sign on it.
Okie doke. So what are we going to do for an encore next week?
Oh, gosh. I can't tell you that this week.
Next week you need to talk about Nellie. I'm looking at Nellie. Oh, man alive, she has some wild eyes.
Nellie is a heartbeat. She's a great dog. Yes, we will talk about Nellie next week.
Okay. Ellen, you have a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend. Enjoy the Monday off, and we'll do it again in what'll seem like about 2 or 3 days, but it'll really be about a week.
You got that right. Have a good weekend.
You too. Ellen from the Dogwood Animal Shelter. Her report brought to you by Doc Realty at the lake.
Does your dog love to swim in the lake? A dock lifeguard system can warn you of hazardous electricity on your dock or in the water around your dock. Dock Lifeguard warns you and your pet it's not safe to be in the water. Contact Dock Realty at 573-374-8849 to get your Dock Lifeguard system, and visit docklifeguard.com to see a demonstration of the Dock Lifeguard system.
If you have a smartphone, Alexa, Google Play, or a computer, you have a radio. Now you can listen to KRMS anywhere in the world. Just download the KRMS app for your phone, enable the skill for your smart speaker, or go to krmsradio.com.
Live internet streaming is sponsored by Capricorn Insurance. Visit capricorninsurance.net.
Now you can listen to all your favorite local programs anywhere in the world. We're at your service. We're KRMS.
It's finally Friday and the party is on at Dog Days Bar and Grill. Get to Dog Days and grab a table on the lakefront deck while you check out the variety of delicious menu options, or go poolside for a cocktail. Dog Days' great live music continues tonight with Whiskey Trio, and Saturday has Machine Gun Symphony, located in Osage Beach just west of the Grand Glaze Bridge or the 19-mile marker by water. See you at the Dog.
Everybody's doing the dog. Well, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun out on the bayou.
It's finally the weekend, and the lake's favorite Cajun is at Shorty Pants, open at 11 a.m. Get to Shorty Pants for a taste of New Orleans with dishes like the world-famous crab cakes and Bourbon Street Eats, or go for a spicy cocktail and kick back with great live music from Stephen D. Hunt. Take KK to the end of 3 Seasons Road or the 21-mile marker by water. For flavors and fun you can't get anywhere else, it's Shorty Pants Lakeside Cajun.
AOK RVs has American Landmaster utility vehicles in stock and ready to go. These workhorse utility vehicles are built in the USA and are designed to haul, tow, and transport everything you need to get the job done. Choose from 2, 4, and 6 seaters with power steering, 4-wheel drive, winches, dump beds, and more. American Landmaster. It's better when it's American made. Get yours today at AOK RVs in Laurie.
At the Lake of the Ozarks. AOKRVs.com.
It's the One Stop Labor Day Weekend Sale with your chance to win big at One Stop. You already know that One Stop Material Yard in Lynn Creek has over 50 bins of top quality rock, mulch, and soil. They also have a selection of Luxcraft furniture, firewood, weed barrier, landscaping blocks, 8-foot and 10-foot railroad ties, and more. You can see all the current inventory at onestopmaterials.com. That's the numeral 1, onestopmaterials.com. They even have a dump truck and a Bobcat on the lot for sale. Now, here's where it gets fun. When it comes time to pay, you have 2 choices. You can take 10% off your bill, or you can draw a card out of a standard deck. And if you pull the one-eye jack, your entire order is free. You heard me right. Free! Free! This does not apply to the dump truck or the Bobcat. And don't forget, they can deliver materials straight to your door. Come by Monday through Saturday, just off Highway 54, across from A Road. It's the One Stop Material Yard Labor Day Weekend Sale. Come test your luck.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam. And Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Atlanta. News, weather, sports, entertainment. The Ozarks this afternoon with Mike Anthony. News Talk KRMS.
424 on KRMS Radio and TV, the Ozarks today. Going on at about 5 o'clock, or starting at 5 o'clock, going till 7 o'clock, a chicken or fish dinner at the Rocky Mount Ambets Post 108. That's right up there over on Y Highway, or Highway Y, or Route Y, whatever you want to call it. Basically, just take W till you get to the Rocky Mount Fire Station, make a left, and then it's on the right side, just maybe a third of a mile, if that, down the road. But it is going on tonight, 5 to 7. Adults are $12. Children are $6. Let's see, ages 5 to 11 is defining a child, and then under 5 are free. There'll be games, or the meal comes with fries or baked potato, veggie, also ice cream, and a drink. So there you go. That is going on tonight, 5 until 7. Community Foundation of the Lake, they have a benefit going on Sunday at the Timber Ridge Winery in Stover. Music by me and Jim from 12 until 3. They'll be playing 60s and 70s rock music. Food by Shady Shack, a new way of giving. Again, that will be a benefit at Timber Ridge Winery on Sunday in Stover, 12 to 6, and the music from 12 until 3. Also, the 37th Annual Laker Invitational Golf Classic going on Monday, the 4th, on Labor Day. That'll be at the Oaks Golf Course. It's sponsored by the Laker Athletic Booster, Inc. to benefit the Camdenton R3 athletic programs. And you can go online to the Camdenton Lakers athletic boosters, and you can find all the information as far as registration and stuff like that. So that is what we have for you with a couple of the announcements for different things going on. Again, coming up here in about 15 minutes, give or take, We're going to, I had a chance to call earlier today, talked it over with Bill Robbins. He's one of the KRMS reporters and correspondents, and he is down in Florida, and let's just say he was very concerned about things going on earlier this week with the hurricane, and we'll talk with Bill about what he calls the close call with Hurricane Idalia, and, probably a lot of people sharing his same sentiments. In the 5 o'clock hour, we will have the Camdenton Laker feature of the week, Lake Ozark Fire Chief Mark Carr, the song of the week, and we'll do some Corinne Jean Pierre-isms, some KJP-isms. Because let's just say she had some more. And what can we do? What would a week be without doing some KJP-isms? They're more fun than Biden. Of course, because she intelligently can put together a sentence, even though she's probably reading it from her playbook, but nonetheless. Let's see, today is the unofficial start to fall. If you are a meteorologist, National Lazy Moms Day, National College Colors Day, National No Rhyme Day, Pink Cadillac Day, National Chicken Boy Day, Emma M. Nut Day, the world's first female telephone switchboard operator. Also National Food Bank Day. Taking a look ahead to the weekend. Saturday, tomorrow, National Tailgating Day, International Bacon Day, bacon. And then on Sunday, and I can't believe somebody would actually come up with this one, Pet Rock Day. Pet Rock Day, the first day in September. I guess you just get to sit around and cuddle with your pet rock for the day, right? Sweet nothings to the pet rock. I'm not even going to go any further than that, because what I would do would get me banned off radio forever and ever. We need to go to the weatherology office with a look at our forecast for the Labor Day weekend, and we have Laura Lockwood this time around. And Laura, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Definitely keeping cool. How about yourself?
Well, I cannot complain. I mean, I'm looking up at, I believe, 83 degrees, give or take, depending on wherever you are around here in the lake area. And, compared to the last week or so, I'll take it. Right?
Oh, my gosh. It's definitely been a warm one. And we have some warmer temperatures coming back in, so you definitely want to enjoy the cooler stretch while you can. With this thermal ridge, we'll have quite a bit of sunshine as well. We really won't have much of a chance of seeing any showers and storms until towards Wednesday, so we'll definitely keep a watchful eye on that. But tonight, clear, low 60, high of 89. Saturday, lots of sun and more sunshine Sunday and Labor Day. Sunday, high of 93, heat and to see about 96, and Labor Day, high of 90, and 91 Tuesday. We're still going to be dealing with those temperatures in the 90s as we head through the rest of the week, but we do have a chance of seeing a few showers at least. I'm meteorologist Laura Lockwood.
Laura, I'm going to ask you, because you brought up a term that piques my curiosity. We all heard, heat dome over the past couple weeks when we had the temperatures up about 185 here. You just mentioned thermal ridge.
Yeah, so just to reiterate for those folks, like a heat dome, essentially, because the atmosphere is not just two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional. So it's kind of like if you were to take a Tupperware bowl and put that on the ground, and that kind of forms a dome, and that's what's happening with the heat. And so that Tupperware bowl is upside down, sliding northward. Now, if you were to take a two-dimensional slice of that at the surface, you kind of get that arc or that crest shape, and that is referred to as a ridge. And so basically what will happen is that ridge slides northward, or that top part of that bowl, that is referred to as thermal ridge because there's heat associated with that.
Ah, okay. And just the way you described it, you knew you were dealing with a Weather 101 dummy here, and you made it pretty clear.
Oh, good. Basically, most folks are aware of how this stuff works. It's just they don't know the actual physics behind it. There's so much math behind what I just explained with vector analysis and dynamics. It is just you get PTSD with flashbacks from the math behind it. But that's what it essentially boils down to.
Well, I describe it in one word: hot.
Exactly.
Laura will
forecast for the next few days. hot. The end.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll do it again in about an hour.
Sounds great.
Sounds good. Laura Lockwood in the weatherology office. Right now, no rain around the lake area. Camden, Miller, Morgan, and/or Benton. We are at 83 degrees. Lake level, 658.76. The river level below Bagnell Dam, 551.64. Truman, 704.47. Surface water temp, 2 mile mark, 82.6. Average high and low for the day in the lake area, 85 and 61. Record high 100, record low 46. Sunset tonight officially at 7:42. Sunrise in the morning at about 6:40. Again, no rain right now, 83 degrees here at the lake. Time now for news.
Told we've added 13.5 million jobs since I took office.
If you have student loans, the bills are due again beginning in October, but business reporter Jason Brooks tells us the interest is back to being charged to you today.
For those who graduated from college during the pandemic, having never made a payment, the interest waiver is estimated to have cost the federal government about $5 billion a month.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
Lake News Now.
I'm John Roger, KRMS Radio News. Our top local stories. Following a special meeting this week to take public comments on the possibility of license plate readers to be used by law enforcement in Camden County, the County Commission has set aside the issue for further research. Several people made their thoughts known during the public comment portion of the meeting Tuesday. That included Jefferson City Police Chief Eric Wild, who was on hand to answer questions about the use of plate readers in his city.
You have to listen to your constituents and police to the level what your community will allow you to release.
As far as Wild is concerned, his bottom line, the plate readers do work.
We have picked up a vehicle that was wanted in a homicide in the state of New Jersey in Jefferson City, and we're able to take that vehicle and a person into custody.
Wild also says the general criteria set up to generate a hit on a license plate includes information associated with the person registered to the plate and possible alleged criminal activity. Now the COVID pandemic is officially in the past, it's back to full schedule of planned health fairs being offered by Lake Regional. One of the events right around the corner also marks a return of the health fairs to the west side of the lake. That according to Lake Regional Community Liaison Stephanie Daner, who says this time around you really have no excuse not to take advantage of this health fair.
The labs that we have offered in the past, they're going to be completely free to the public, to the community. So we're really proud of that offering. People can come out and get their labs drawn. You know, previously they were a small, low cost, say $5 and $10, but this year they will be free.
The Westside Health Fair will run from 7 to 10:30 on the morning of Tuesday the 19th at the Elks Lodge in Laurie. You're advised to call ahead to see if any fasting or special instructions are needed to be followed before testing is done. And it's a short agenda coming up next week for the regular meeting of the Citizens Advisory Committee in Osage Beach. The only identified item on the public's agenda includes discussion on the city's sign ordinances. The meeting in Osage Beach City Hall will take place at 6 p.m. next Tuesday night. More news at krmsradio.com. That's your Lake News Now. I'm John Roger.
The news is sponsored by Heritage Bank of the Ozarks. Visit heritagebankozarks.com.
I'm Jennifer Webster from Heritage Bank of the Ozarks in Camdenton, where you will find everything you need in a bank. Mobile and ATM deposits, person-to-person transfer, and instant issue debit cards. Plus, your dollars stay local. When you bank locally, your local dollars are invested in our local communities with local lenders and local decisions. At Heritage Bank, we are genuinely neighbors serving neighbors. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's week 2 of the high school football season tonight over on 93.5 Rocks the Lake and KRMS TV 32.11 and the LOZ app. It's Camdenton and Kickapoo. Both teams are 1-0. I tell you what, they've had some classic encounters over the years. We'll see if we're in store for another one tonight. I think we are. We've got pregame, Summit Natural Gas pregame at 6 o'clock. Kickoff is at 7. School of the Osage looking to bounce back after a tough loss at Jefferson City last week. They are home against Moberly. You can hear it. Guy Wayman, Tony Herman, they've got it for you on Classic Country 104.9. Eldon's 1-0. They are home against 1-0 Owensville tonight. Versailles 1-0 at 1-0 Warsaw. Some fun matchups between undefeated teams tonight. And again, those games are scheduled to kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. Mizzou football raised the curtain on their 2023 season last night. They beat South Dakota 35-10. No real sweat, but wasn't exactly a dominant performance either by the Tigers. Brady Cook does throw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown. And again, after the game, Coach Eli Drinkwitz said that Cook had the leg up in the battle for starting quarterback over Sam Horn, who did play in the second half. From the KRMS Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Matthews.
So your wife is telling you all about a new pair of red shoes she wants, and you're like, okay, whatever. But the next day, you're online looking for a new deer stand, and everywhere you go online, you're seeing ads for those red shoes, and you're like, how do they do that? Better yet, how do I do that for my business? Well, that's what we do. We are Titan Digital. Websites, Google Ads, better reviews, increasing your sales at the lake. Titan Digital. See examples of our work at TitanDigitalMO.com. TitanDigitalMO.com.
I'm meteorologist Laura Lockwood with your News Talk KRMS weatherology forecast. Mainly clear, low near 60. Lots of sunshine on Saturday, high of 89. Saturday night, mainly clear, low near 65. Sunday, sunny, high of 92. Sunshine continues Labor Day with a high of 91 degrees. The current water temperature, sponsored by Captain Ron's Bar and Grill, home of the shootout, is 83 degrees. And the temperature at the studios, right now, 82.
You'd be pretty hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't rave about the food served at RJ's Family Restaurant. Repeat and new customers savor the menu items. From skillet creations, eggs Benedict, lunch specials, enough sides to make it hard to decide, and the menu goes on and on. Try RJ's for their great desserts. Open Tuesday through Sunday till 2 p.m. Located on Highway 54 West in Camdenton with plenty of convenient parking. RJ's Family Restaurant. Close to home, yet far from ordinary.
Big O Tires is now open in Lake Ozark, and you do not want to miss their grand opening savings. For a limited time, you can save up to $180 on select sets of tires, up to $120 on brakes, or the Healthy Car Special for just $39.95. Big O Tires is your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. Visit your locally owned and operated Lake Ozark location today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
CBS Eye on Veterans, presented by University of Maryland Global Campus. Marine Corps Special Operations vet Brian Buckley founded a cannabis company after it helped him recover from the war. He recently went to Capitol Hill to meet with politicians about getting Congress to finally pass laws that get medical marijuana federally recognized. And he's calling out the senators that still don't get it.
One person I was really disappointed was Senator Cory Booker. We met with his staff. He wasn't there. I'm like, listen, your bill is way overtaxed and way overregulated. It's essentially California on steroids. I mean, they're looking at putting a 25% federal tax. You are just helping the illicit market and the cartels.
At UMGC, we provide no-cost digital resources in place of textbooks in most courses. Choose from more than 125 degrees and certificates with online and hybrid courses. Learn more at umgc.edu.
This is the Ozarks This Afternoon with Mike Anthony on News Talk KRMS.
440 on KRMS, hour number one of the Ozarks today. I don't have the audio for you, but I do have some things that happened on this date in history. We'll start with 1939. Oh, by the way, no rain around the lake area, 82 degrees. 1939, 84 years ago today, without warning, Nazi Germany invading Poland, setting into motion World War II. Hitler blaming Poland for intransigence in the two nations' border dispute, and assured England and France that he had no designs on Western Europe. The speech with translation was broadcast on CBS radio. Let's see, 1983, 40 years ago today, a Soviet fighter plane shot down Korean Airlines Flight 007, killing 269 people. The airliner had crossed into Soviet airspace on its way to Seoul from the U.S. At first, the Soviets did not admit that they shot down the plane, but then Secretary of State George Shultz read a transcript of an intercepted Soviet radio message. Also, 16 years ago today, in 2007, Idaho Senator Larry Craig announcing his resignation in the wake of an arrest and guilty plea in a Minnesota airport gay sex sting. Craig later reversed his decision, saying he would serve out the rest of his term. That is a look at the calendar, 442, and one that I just cannot pass up. It actually happened last week, 1 week ago today. A woman in Chicago going to a White Sox game, snuck a gun into the game. How do you sneak a gun into a baseball game, you ask? You can't put it in the purse because chances are they're going to check all the bags and stuff like that, especially being in Chicago, right? How do you sneak a gun inside a game? Well, you hide it in your fat. You hide it in your belly rolls of fat. And apparently that's how she got it in. And I guess Chicago police saying that the shooting that had 2 people injured, not a result of an altercation. Can you explain that one to me? 2 people were shot because some gal snuck a gun in her belly fat. 2 people were shot, and it was not a result of an altercation. Did the gun, fall out of her belly fat and fire when it hit the ground? You know, if the gun struck her, would the bullet have bounced off her belly fat? 442 on KRMS. Bill Robbins, KRMS news reporter and correspondent, talking about his close call with Idalia coming up on the other side of the break.
Rackin', sackin', mama crackin'. This is RJ, your DJ, calling you from RJS Radio. That's a band that was playing in the front seat when you were playing in the back. Have a good time tonight. If you can answer this question, you will win a free trip to the Lake of the Ozarks. If a chicken and a half can lay an egg and a half in a day and a half, how long will it take a grasshopper with a wooden leg to kick the seeds out of a dill pickle? Thank you for your attention. Hi, this is Randy with Crazo Calves. Remember, Crazo is Ozark spelled backwards. Give me a call for a fun ride to your destination, 573-219-0083.
Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.com. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.com. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.
For all of your local and long-distance moves, call Lake Movers today. 573-319-1730. MovingTheLake.com.
Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.com. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.
Well, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun out on the bayou. It's finally the weekend, and the lake's favorite Cajun is at Shorty Pants, open at 11 a.m. Get to Shorty Pants for a taste of New Orleans with dishes like the world-famous crab cakes and Bourbon Street Eats, or go for a spicy cocktail and kick back with great live music from Stephen D. Hunt. Take KK to the end of 3 Seasons Road or the 21-mile marker by water. For flavors and fun you can't get anywhere else, it's Shorty Pants, Lakeside Cajun.
Simply the best barbecue at the lake. It's Wobbly Boots, voted best barbecue by lake locals for more than 10 years. Head over and celebrate Labor Day by ordering up a plate of perfectly smoked meats and delicious home-style sides. Enjoy award-winning wings, ribs, sandwiches, burgers, and more. And with happy hour specials every weekday from 3 to 6 and all day Sunday, Wobbly Boots is the best place for a great time with the whole family. Located just off Passover Road in Osage Beach and open daily at 11. Wobbly Boots. Food so good, it'll knock your boots off.
Can the county outlaw puppies and then turn around and fine you if Fido actually has a few? What if they single out your particular breed of dog or cat for special restrictions? Can you stop them? I'm Curtis Howard. Together we'll explore these and other actual court cases and the decisions handed down by the judges. See if you agree.
Point of Law, weekday mornings at 7:35. Sponsored by the Law Office of Christopher Rohr on Osage Beach Parkway next to Golden Corral.
When severe weather threatens our area, get the information you need from News Talk KRMS. We utilize the latest technology to analyze impending weather as it approaches our area. Our meteorologists prepare you for anything from ice and snow to severe thunderstorms or worse. Our severe weather coverage is sponsored by California Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in California. Visit CaliforniaChrysler.com to see their new and used inventory. Listen for severe weather updates from News Talk KRMS.
Hi, I'm Greg Dierberg. I love slow smoke barbecue, but who has 10 plus hours? At Dierberg's, we fire up our smokers every day, right on site. So when that craving hits, just come on in and grab it. It's fresh, it's friendly, and for slow smoke barbecue in a hurry, it's Dierberg's.
News, weather, sports, entertainment. The Ozarks this afternoon with Mike Anthony. News Talk KRMS.
Joining us on the Ozarks today now, Bill Robbins, who is one of our KRMS reporters and correspondents, and he is down in Florida. And Bill, I know the main part of the hurricane apparently missed you, but just kind of tell us, in those final hours before it hit land, what was going through your mind and your family?
Well, what was going through my mind is that the storm was originally projected to make landfall in Cedar Key, which is one of the towns on the Big Bend area. That's where Jim Cantori was, and what's going to hit the fan wherever he is. and we were in the direct path because where we're based in Alachua, which is it's in the county of Alachua, which is 11 miles north of Gainesville. It's a very small town, and all the houses are very, very sturdy, but you're talking about what looked at the time to be a possible Category 4 storm hitting Cedar Key, which was not that far from us. And if we'd been in a direct path, I think we would have been in a lot of trouble. Instead, it made landfall about almost 90 miles northwest in Keaton Beach. So we got a lot of rain, a lot of thunder and lightning. Our power went out for about an hour and a half. But we, I hate to appropriate the same catchphrase, but we really dodged a bullet.
What was the general mindset, though, as far as, you and your neighbors? I mean, just in talking over the fence with a beer or a soda or whatever. But, I mean, obviously you had to be kind of wondering, well, what if it does this or what if it does that? Are you ready? Are you sure? And just kind of checking up on everybody.
The only people who were really nervous about it were me and my wife, because we lived in coastal Florida down in the Fort Lauderdale area for so long. We just would curl up in the fetal position if a strong storm was going to be coming our way. Or that's probably an exaggeration, but we get a little wiggy and a little nervous, and we were a little wiggy and a little nervous here, and these other people were looking like, nah, seen one, seen them all. I said, but what if it does this? What if it hits Cedar Key? What if it cuts right across north central Florida, just the way that Charlie hit Punta Gorda and cut through the Orlando area? And they're just kind of shrugging their shoulders. Nah, I'm just closing up the windows, putting my stuff in the shed, have a beer, and I'm not worried about it. So it was amazing, the difference in reactions between my household and those around us.
I know way back in end of 88, 89, whenever it actually hit down there, I was working at the radio stations down in the Keys in Marathon, WFFG and WMUM. I still remember it. And we were within about 12 hours of having a mandatory evacuation. My mom and dad would be calling every hour on the hour, it seemed, saying, "Are you leaving yet?" And I'd be like, "No, Mom, no, Dad, I'm in news right now." And they're like, "Man, you're stupid."
Oh, but Mom, Dad, you just don't understand.
I'm a news guy now. Lucky I wasn't tarpon bait, huh?
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that didn't happen to you.
No, it actually went up and hit Carolinas instead. But as soon as you realized that you and your wife were out of the bullseye, what kind of feelings were you having? Just kind of like major sigh of relief, but at the same time, oh my gosh, we feel for the other people that are getting hit.
Well, I think you pretty much said it. Major sigh of relief on our end, but it's just very sad because Governor DeSantis and pretty much all the personnel, I think even President Biden is supposed to come to Florida tomorrow. The Big Bend of Florida took a most massive storm, more massive than has happened in 100 years. Of according to our own news sources that we use in Florida. So Cedar Key was basically underwater. I don't think it is anymore. I think they're starting to get back on their feet. The emergency relief personnel were up there. Even the sheriff of Marion County traveled with one of the caravans to do repairs and help people up in those counties. I think he and his group went to Madison County, and Keaton Beach is probably where you're going to find the majority of the damage as far as the coastal areas.
And you're how far away from the main damage area?
I think we're probably 75 to 100 miles.
Still, when it comes to something like that, that's a little too close for comfort.
Well, it is, and it was, and because so few storms hit this particular area, north central Florida is so inland, we just don't usually get the big effects of the storms. One of my neighbors told me that the biggest effect of a storm they got was from Hurricane Andrew, and it's like my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because we think of Hurricane Andrew as a Miami thing. It really destroyed the town of Homestead. It affected Miami heavily, and there were even oak trees yanked out of the ground in front of one of the restaurants I went to in Broward County. But apparently when Hurricane Andrew finished cutting its path, it did some damage in Alachua County. And this was basically a rainstorm.
Well, we're glad about that at least. But, I mean, was there any, flooding or anything as far as you were concerned in your area, or was that just off in the other areas?
Not in Alachua. In Alachua, we're on high ground now. Some parts of Marion County and some parts of Gainesville in Alachua County, I think, did get some flooding, but it was nothing like what was expected. I mean, the schools in both Alachua and Marion County were back in session the next day.
Do you know people in the areas that were hit harder?
No, I really don't. I mean, we're still somewhat new to the area. We only recently moved out of Broward County, so we know the people in our immediate area, but we don't know that many people up and down the different towns yet.
But still, when you look at the big picture, knowing that it was that close and knowing what could have happened, the only thing we can really compare it to would be if we had a tornado outbreak up here or some major flooding. And even then, I don't remember any real major flooding here in the lake area, but that's about the only thing we could compare it to. And, what would you tell people as far as, when there's a pending event coming in, such as tornado or hurricane or whatever, what words of advice would you have for them?
Well, here's the thing. Florida has kind of set a precedent of doing everything for the people, giving them the advice, telling them, please take the advice. And this is one of those rare exceptions to the rule. I mean, with the political landscape now, people are, for obvious reasons, saying don't trust the government. In the state of Florida, when it comes to storms and major events like this, you can trust the government. Jeb Bush set a great precedent. Governor DeSantis has done a great job with the hurricane, and it's something that they take seriously in this state because they don't want to lose anybody. And Governor DeSantis, quite rightly, bragged about having no fatalities, except that there was one fatality recorded that was not a direct result of a storm. It's just somebody was driving on I-75 in Gainesville who should not have been because of the rainy conditions, and he ran off the road and he died. So technically you could say there was one fatality due to the storm, but that was probably due to someone's stubbornness more than because they were in the path and got swept away to the ocean or something. There was a traffic fatality, and that was pretty much it for fatalities in Florida as a direct result of the storm.
KRMS reporter and correspondent Bill Robbins. Bill, we are glad that you and your bride are safe and did not get hit by the hurricane, and appreciate your time today.
Thank you, sir. Glad to do it.
Again, Bill Robbins, KRMS news reporter and correspondent down in Florida at the house that he is in, talking about the close call earlier this week with Idalia. It is 4:56 on KRMS. Coming up next hour, Lake Ozark Fire Chief Mark Carr will also have the Camdenton Laker feature of the week, the song of the week, and we'll have some KJP-isms for you as well, courtesy of Corinne Jean-Pierre. Twitter's new privacy policy allows it to collect your biometric data. Starting next month, users of X Premium will start having their personal data harvested, including physical characteristics like your fingerprints, voice, or retina scans. So as far as the whole thing is concerned, experts think that they're going to use it for passwordless logins, which Twitter or X hopes will prevent imposters from taking over your account. And if you believe that one, I have some swampland to sell you, ironically enough, in Florida. A promising new study shows an experimental blood test could detect early Parkinson's disease. Of course, years away from being available to the public, but doctors say it could become the first tool in diagnosing the degenerative disease. It could be diagnosed sooner, and therapy could start earlier to prevent progression. Nearly 1 million Americans live with Parkinson's. Well, let's do a this date in Missouri Senate history with Dean Morgan. On this date, September 1st, 1852, it was the third day of the extra session of the 17th General Assembly.
This is only the second time in state history an extra session had been called by the governor, the first having happened the year before. Session started on August 30th, with senators acting as they would on the first day of a regular session, with a roll call specialized for each senator, who would then take his seat, followed by electing officers and a sergeant-at-arms. Minus voting on rules, they acted as if this was a separate session from the regular, which is something that has changed since. There were also several senators-elect who had to be sworn in before anything else could be done. The next day, senators returned to finish picking an engrossing clerk, which occupied most of the previous day. They were then finally able to hear the governor's proclamation, which asked lawmakers to work toward getting right-of-way secured for the first railroads to go through our state, more specifically the Pacific, Hannibal, and St. Joseph railroads. By September 1st, the Missouri Senate would meet long enough to open at 10 a.m., have opening prayer, and take up one resolution before adjourning until the following day. This session, by the way, would continue until December 27th. September 1st, 1852, the date marking the third day of the extra session of the 17th General Assembly, on this date in Missouri Senate history.
Thank you, Dean Morgan, for this date in Missouri Senate history. It is 4:58. We'll call it 4:59. Time now to go. You hear the music, which means we will break away for news, CBS News, followed by local news, weather, and sports, and then hour number 2 of the Ozarks Today for this Friday afternoon, the first day of September. Right now at the lake, we have sunshine, 82 degrees. We are back with a whole lot more. You're listening and watching the Ozarks Today right here on KRMS Radio and TV.
I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just call it a day. Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
At your service since 1951, News Talk, KRMS, Osage Beach, and KRMS FM HD3, Osage Beach.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington. Even though summer still has a few weeks left on the calendar, many are celebrating the unofficial end by traveling somewhere this weekend. If you're hitting the road, gas prices are a little higher. AAA says a gallon of regular is about $3.82. Joshua Stolt is filling up in Georgia.
I mean, nothing obviously was as bad as out west, where it was almost $6, $7 a gallon, almost double the price of what it is here. So it's a little bit better here, even with the up and downs.
There are many people who would rather stay home for the holiday.
Sure, Detroit has its festivals, parades, and other Labor Day weekend events.
The elephant ears, the big sausages, the Jamaican food, the Caribbean food is crazy.
Crazy, but many are choosing to stay home.
I'm going to be in my nice, quiet home
and air conditioning if necessary.
And some want to stay home, but...
She probably going to talk me into it and spend some of my money, so it's probably going to happen.
And some will just find ways to party this Labor Day weekend.
Well, a beer in one hand, some food in the other. How do you party?
Charlie Langton for CBS News, Detroit.
Business reporter Jason Brooks has details on the latest jobs report.
The Labor Department reported a gain of 187,000 jobs in August, which was slightly above estimates. But the previous 2 months were revised down by a combined 110,000 jobs. On top of that, the unemployment rate surged to its highest reading since February 2022, from 3.5 to 3.8%.
Proud Boys member Ethan Nordian has just been sentenced to over 18 years in jail. CBS's Scott McFarlane on another member sentenced today.
Pizzola, as he asked for leniency in court today, told the judge that he's giving up politics, that he was getting out of the world of far-right groups in politics and wanted to go home to his family. He got 10 years at sentencing, and after the judge walked out, Pizzola stood up, lifted his fist, and yelled, "Trump won."
Police body camera footage has been released in Ohio showing the moments leading up to when officers fatally shot a 21-year-old pregnant black woman accused of shoplifting.
Then get out. No, then get out. Get out of the car.
NASCAR's playoffs begin this Sunday at Darlington Raceway. After so many near misses, Denny Hamlin told Fox Sports he thinks this might be the year.
I feel more confident in, all the aspects of the puzzle that puts your team together, that all of them are in the right place to win this year.
This year, only 36 points separate the 16 NASCAR drivers. This is CBS News.
When you think of hiring, think of Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring system helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Lake News Now.
I'm John Roger, KRMS Radio News. Our top local stories: 2 more suspects wanted in connection to an August 7th assault in Greenview are now in custody after turning themselves in to the Camden County Sheriff's Office. 22-year-old John Brennan Richardson of Springfield and 22-year-old Jonathan Cosme Ortiz-Copar of Montreal are facing charges of first-degree felony assault and are now being held without bond. Sergeant Scott Hines says a request for information on the suspects published by KRMS News and other media outlets likely played a major role in Richardson and Ortiz-Copar turning themselves in. This makes 4 suspects in custody for the assault following the recent arrest of Aaron Gonzalez and Ramiro Arguello Garcia. The investigation continues and the sheriff's office says more arrests are possibly expected in the connection to the case. It may be September, but that doesn't mean the city of Osage Beach will be slowing down anytime soon. That according to Parks and Recreation's manager Eric Gregory, who says there are some fun events still lined up for the fall, including the Fall Food Truck Festival, which promises to top the success from the same event which was held during the spring.
It was unexpectedly very, very busy. Some of the trucks ran out of food on Saturday and they had to go get more food, so very popular. So the Fall Food Truck Festival will be even bigger. We have more trucks. We're going to have large bounce houses for kids. There'll be live music. It's going to be a very, very good day.
The Fall Food Truck Festival is set for the weekend of September 23rd and 24th and will run from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. at the Osage Beach City Park. Those interested in setting up a food truck for the day need to act quickly. The deadline to register is today. And a one-vehicle accident just before 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon on Miller County Route A at Tavern Creek sent an Iberia woman and a child to the emergency room. The Highway Patrol says it happened when the van driven by 72-year-old Linda Hodge ran off the road and struck an embankment before going airborne and striking the ground. Hodge was not wearing a seatbelt and escaped with minor injuries. The unidentified 4-year-old girl was also in the car but was properly restrained and suffered minor injuries. Both were taken to the hospital. That's your Lake News Now. I'm John Roger.
This news sponsored by the Driftwood Spa and Salon at Margaritaville. Repeat customer Ron visits Driftwood Spa every month.
Today I came for a haircut. Haley cut my hair, and then we went for massage. And Melissa did a fantastic job, like she always does. It's just an excellent place just to come and relax. You leave totally refreshed, invigorated.
Hi, this is Shelley from the Driftwood Spa and Salon at Margaritaville. We are located in the Driftwood building next to the indoor pool, and our new salon is directly across the street. Come drift away with us.
It's week 2 of the high school football season tonight over on 93.5 Rocks the Lake and KRMS TV 32.11 and the LOZ app. It's Camdenton and Kickapoo. Both teams are 1-0. I tell you what, they've had some classic encounters over the years. We'll see if we're in store for another one tonight. I think we are. We've got pregame, Summit Natural Gas pregame at 6 o'clock. Kickoff is at 7. School of the Osage looking to bounce back after a tough loss at Jefferson City last week. They are home against Moberly. You can hear it. Guy Wayman, Tony Herman, they've got it for you on Classic Country 104.9. Eldon's 1-0. They are home against 1-0 Owensville tonight. Versailles 1-0 at 1-0 Warsaw. Some fun matchups between undefeated teams tonight. And again, those games are scheduled to kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. Mizzou football raised the curtain on their 2023 season last night. They beat South Dakota 35-10. No real sweat, but wasn't exactly a dominant performance either by the Tigers. Brady Cook does throw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown. And again, after the game, Coach Eli Drinkwitz said that Cook had the leg up in the battle for starting quarterback over Sam Horn, who did play in the second half. From the KRMS Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Matthews.
Big O Tires is now open in Lake Ozark, and you do not want to miss their grand opening savings. For a limited time, you can save up to $180 on select sets of tires, up to $120 on brakes, or the Healthy Car Special for just $39.95. Big O Tires is your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. Visit your locally owned and operated Lake Ozark location today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
I'm meteorologist Laura Lockwood with your News Talk KRMS weatherology forecast. Mainly clear, low near 60. Lots of sunshine on Saturday, high of 89. Saturday night, mainly clear, low near 65. Sunday, sunny, high of 92. Sunshine continues Labor Day with a high of 91 degrees. The current water temperature, sponsored by Captain Ron's Bar and Grill, home of the shootout, is 83 degrees. And the temperature at the studios, right now, 82.
Show Me Taxi welcomes you to the lake. Professional people, tourists like Show Me Taxi. 573-280-5511. Need a ride to dinner, grocery store, pick up your boat, or a car? We are here. Ride the wave at the lake as you enjoy the beautiful scenery and fun at the lake. Call Show Me Taxi 573-280-5511. Show Me Taxi 573-280-5511. Thanks, Cindy Lou. Be safe.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? Morgan's silver dollars are back for 2023. For the 100th anniversary, the U.S. Mint released the first legal tender Morgans in 100 years. They sold out instantly. Now, Morgan's silver dollars are back in 2023, minted in 99.9% pure silver, but only 275,000 coins were minted, and they will go fast. The entire market and experts agree this is a big deal and an amazing opportunity for both coin and silver buyers. Just call 1-800-859-1518 and you are guaranteed a 2023 brand new uncirculated 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-859-1518. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus Patriots pack, new and improved, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-859-1518 now to secure your new 2023 Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-859-1518.
Interview
number one.
Since my job is and has been for 19 years protection of the public and the visitors of the district, I feel the public needs to be aware.
We think that there's plenty of ignorance to go around.
Trust me on that. 34 years I've made a career out of pursuing public officials who misbehave.
We're going to have to put an iron fist on some of this stuff.
The aircraft departed approximately 10 minutes prior to the event.
Some of the best experts in the United States and world put this together.
In the perfect sense of the word, there'll be no out-of-pocket expense other than our labor, but time will tell that, of course.
You can't force people to come on the radio and talk.
A bigger commitment to news.
I expect them to continue to do the great job they always did. I don't have any doubts that they will.
50% of it is mental.
Since 1951, a trusted source for daily local news. The Ozarks Today.
5:11 on News Talk 1150 KRMS 97.5 103.3, broadcasting from the Radio TV Center in mid-Missouri. We are KRMS Radio and TV. Friday, September the 1st, No rain anywhere around the lake area, Camden, Miller, Morgan, and or Benton counties. We'll throw in Henry and St. Clair just to start an argument. And we're back up to 83 degrees here at the Lake of the Ozarks. The Camdenton Laker feature of the week in just a couple of seconds, followed by some KJP-isms. Karine Jean-Pierre. The Lake Ozark Fire Chief, Mark Carr, talking about a couple of his men down in Florida as part of Missouri Task Force 1. And we'll have the Song of the Week. If you want to hear the Song of the Week in its entirety, you will need to be checked in at precisely 5:56 and 7 seconds. So that is what we have for you coming up this hour. The Smith & Gustafson Law Firm is proud to sponsor the Camdenton Lakers feature of the week. And as far as the law firm is concerned, they have offices in Camdenton and in Lebanon, 53 Camden Court Southwest, 573-346-5684. Down in Lebanon, 288 South Jefferson, and that telephone number, 417-588-3221. The Smith Law Firm can help you out, whether it is family law, civil law, criminal law, business law, you name it, estate planning, litigation, contracts. Give the Smith & Gustafson Law Firm a call, either in Camdenton or Lebanon. They can help you out. They're sponsoring the Lakers feature of the week. And with fall sports starting this past week, we can tell you soccer, softball, football, all undefeated starts to the season. The Lady Lakers softball team, they won the Morrisville tournament with the championship game ending after, believe it or not, 1 a.m. The Smith & Gustafson Law Firm, offices in Camdenton and Lebanon, proud to sponsor this great feature since September 2011. It is 5:13 on KRMS. Again, thank you to Guy Wayman. I believe Tony, maybe even Luke were in here yesterday filling in for me so I could be off to Columbia. Met up with my cousin from St. Louis, went to the Mizzou game, and tell you what, first half pretty exciting, 28-3. The Tigers at halftime. The second half, pretty much, Snorville. It was a very, very different second half, and the final score being 35-10, and definitely, I think, a case where the Missouri Tigers playing down to the competition against South Dakota. It probably should have been more like a 50 or 60-10 win or something like that. But nonetheless, it was still a fun time. Just the college atmosphere. Just the college atmosphere after all these years. And, I'll have to take my kids to a game or two up there and, either sit on the hill or get somewhere in the stands. But I'll tell you what. I don't remember 1982 when I was going to school up there at Mizzou. I don't remember 1982 looking anywhere like it was last night. I mean, you're talking the blonde hair, the blue eyes, the red hair, the brunettes. You're talking the skirts. You're talking the boots up to their knees. Oh, my. And then, of course, I send a text to my mom during the game, and I'm like, Mom, I don't remember 1982 ever looking like this. And she eloquently sent me back a text saying, well, son, you're a lot older now, too. Like, okay, point taken. 5:15 on KRMS. And again, thanks to my cousin Frank for giving me a call and saying, hey, let's go to the game. It was pretty fun until the walk down to the parking lot about a mile and a half after the game in the dark with traffic coming our way. But anyway, that's what you get when you go to a big-time college football game. And this week, I don't know who they're playing. I think maybe Montana. I can't tell by the logo. But anyway, the Tigers should go 2-0 next weekend. So they won't play until the following Saturday. 5:15, we need to take our break. When we come back, actually, no, we're going to do it right now. We're going to do it right now. New York. Karine Jean-Pierre responding to AOC, saying that Biden has done more than anybody to secure the border. The New York governor getting in on the conversation with Fox News as well.
We cannot and will not force other parts of our state to shelter migrants. Nor are we going to be asking these migrants to move to other parts of the state against their will. This crisis originated with the federal government, and it must be resolved through the federal government. This humanitarian crisis and our workforce crisis is so crystal clear and common sense.
There is no humanitarian crisis. It is a New York crisis. It is a Democrat crisis. I digress.
That is New York Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul on her state's worsening migrant crisis. According to a new Siena poll, 82% of New Yorkers say it's either a somewhat or very serious problem. People added that they are fed up with bearing the brunt of the nation's crisis. In the same poll, 58% said New Yorkers have done enough and should work to stop the flow of migrants. The problem is spilling out of Manhattan and into the other boroughs. Staten Island residents are upset that a former school has been converted into a migrant housing shelter. Their Congresswoman, Republican Nicole Maliotakis, joins us now. So it looked for a time earlier in the week that, I guess late last week, I should say, that the school was going to be closed to migrants, but then a judge said you got to leave it open.
Yeah, myself and my other colleagues from Staten Island sued. We were granted a temporary restraining order and a vacate order, but the mayor quickly turned around and filed an appeal, and a judge appointed by Kathy Hochul overturned our restraining order. And so we are going to go back to court on September 6th and fight this. But the reality is that the governor, the mayor, and the president are doing everything they can to continue incentivizing illegal immigration. Every time there's a lawsuit, they are so quick to appeal the decision. Look what happened with Texas trying to secure their borders, and the Department of Justice is out there fighting it to remove the barriers that Texas put in place to secure their borders. Here in New York, we are in a court case. This is very important because, as you heard the governor say, she wants work authorization. Well, in New York City, we're right now battling the mayor as well on a non-citizen voting law, which would allow people who have work authorization and reside in New York City for 30 days to register to vote in municipal elections. We won the initial round, and the mayor is appealing that lawsuit as well. So if these individuals get work authorization, they will be able to vote in New York City elections.
Perhaps that's part of the reason the governor wants to give them work permits. That's exactly the wrong thing to do, according to Brandon Judd. He's the National Border Patrol Council president. Listen.
She is encouraging more people to come across our borders. If she says that we should be granting work permits to people that violate our laws, she's talking about rewarding them. And any time that we reward people for violating our laws, we can expect them to continue to violate those laws. Our border is never going to be secure if politicians continue to pander to a base rather than what's best for the United States.
And what about the workers who are already here? I mean, we were just talking about inflation in this country. It's a terrible problem. Now you're going to throw in competition from immigrants who are going to be willing to work for bargain basement wages?
Yeah, people are having a hard enough time keeping their own roof over their head. And now what the government is saying, you have to pay to house these individuals. And Brandon Judd is absolutely right. New York has incentivized this. Kathy Hochul's already offering free college for those who are in the country illegally, health care. She wrote a letter to President Biden asking for more federal money, more federal land to open up more migrant shelters and encampments. She's asking for Section 8 vouchers. Think about that. We have a years-long waiting list from citizens, domestic violence victims, veterans who are waiting for Section 8 vouchers, and she's asking the president to allow these people who have come illegally to cut the line and take away from citizens. It's unbelievable. Not to mention, she wants free Metro cards for the ability for these individuals to ride our subways and our buses for free after she just raised our tolls and fares and wants to implement a $23 tax to enter into Manhattan for citizens. Again, these people are bending over backwards to provide for illegal immigrants what their own citizens aren't even receiving in terms of benefits. And I say this, the federal House of Representatives, my colleagues, we cannot allow another federal dollar to go to this nonsense that the city of New York is doing. We must stand and draw a line in the sand and say not another federal penny to go to continue this disaster that the president has created and our mayor and our governor here in New York continue to exacerbate.
I just want to put up real quickly frame store number 4, guys. This is a tweet from New York City's current mayor, Eric Adams, who when he was running for office in October of 2021 wrote, "We should protect our immigrants, period. Yes, New York City will remain a sanctuary city under an Adams administration. Interesting. He might wish to take back those words now.
Elections matter.
Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Mayor of New York, a couple thoughts that come to mind. You get what you deserve. You wanted all these immigrants to be able to come in. Then they go to your area, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, okay, maybe it's not such a good idea after all. You know, you want to give them voting rights. You want to hand them life on a silver platter. You want to hand them what other people are struggling for in your city. You know, why don't you move to Mexico? Why don't you move out of the country, move to some of these areas where the immigrants are coming from? Just get the heck out of America, or out of the United States, rather. You know, because you probably do not deserve to be in this country with the way you're such a hypocrite. It is 5:22. Laura Lockwood in the weatherology office with a look at what is shaping up to be maybe a little warmer, but nonetheless a beautiful Labor Day weekend, Laura.
Indeed. You know, things are looking pretty good. You know, a bit dry, but, you know, lots of sunshine. Folks should be able to get out there and enjoy it. A little toasty, but not too bad. Just make sure to keep yourself and others around you safe, you know, especially with the sun and the heat out there. Want to make sure to be aware of that. But otherwise, you know, looking pretty decent. I hope folks are able to get out there and enjoy it. Tonight will cool to about 60. I have 89 Saturday, lots of sun. Saturday night, below 64. I have 93 Sunday, but it'll feel closer to about 96, 97. And then Sunday night, low of 74. I have 90 on Labor Day. Sunshine continues into Tuesday as well. I have 91. Then finally a chance of seeing showers Wednesday, but just a chance. So overall, pretty dry forecast, but looks like a decent holiday weekend shaping up for folks. Just make sure to hydrate and be careful of that heat. I'm meteorologist Laura Lockwood.
Well, after what we went through about, 3 weeks or a month ago, I think we can stand a little dry.
Right, exactly. I just wish it would be kind of more of a leveled out thing instead of like bouncing from one extreme to another.
Yeah, no doubt. Any big plans for the Lockwoods over the holiday?
No. I'll be working Monday, and then this weekend, I'm not quite sure. I might just kind of keep it low-key because we've been pretty busy this week, so we'll kind of play it by ear. How about yourself?
Well, you know, I usually try to hibernate on weekends like this until I get called out for work for one of my other jobs, so probably just kind of kick back, relax with the kids.
Right, exactly. Try to just enjoy it before winter hits.
Yeah, no kidding, because that'll be right around the corner.
Oh, I know, don't we? Oh, it's too close. It's too close.
We're going to go straight from summer, because summer's not over according to the calendar. We know it is according to you all in the weather business. We're going to end up going straight from summer to winter.
Yeah, you know, it's just, that's the way it usually goes, you know. I mean, the solstice will be like, around the 21st, 22nd or so, and yeah, it seems to just like drop like a rock at one point, and you just don't rebound.
You know, it is Mother Nature, so it is what it is. Laura, you have a great weekend, and we'll talk next time.
Sounds great. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
You too. Laura Lockwood from the weatherology office. Nothing showing up on the radar as far as rain is concerned. 82 degrees. The lake level, 658.76. The river level below Bagnell Dam, 551.64. Truman, 704.47. Surface water temp 2 mile mark, 82.6. Average high and low for the day here in the lake area. We're looking at 85 and 61. Record high 100, record low 46. Sunset tonight officially 7:42. Sunrise in the morning at about 6:40. Again, no rain in the area, 83 degrees. Well, good luck tonight to all the local high school football teams. We will have the Camdenton Lakers. They are on 93.5 Rocks. That will be 6 o'clock with the pregame, 7 o'clock with the kickoff against Kickapoo. Should be a pretty good game. School of the Osage, they will be over on 104.9 Classic Country, 6:30 with the pregame, 7 o'clock with the kickoff. They are at home against Moberly. The Spartans come into town, and hopefully the Indians can turn them away and get back to the 1-1 mark for the young season. 526 on KRMS. A report from the Commerce Department showing that Americans are spending more, or at least they did spend more in August, even though prices rose more than 3%. Some of the credit being given to the movie and concert tickets like Barbie and Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour. However, the Consumer Confidence Index dove to about 106. Economists were expecting it to be about 116. The days of needing a pocket full of cash passed us. And maybe that is a good thing now that the ATM fees are the most expensive ever. The average out-of-network charge hit a record $4.73 per gallon, or $4.73 per transaction, according to a survey by Bankrate.com. At least 100 overdraft fees. At least overdraft fees are down a few dollars to an average of about $26. An overdraft fee, $26. And a new picture of what might be the Loch Ness Monster surfacing, and the internet can't tell if it's the real thing or somebody's old suitcase. Actually snapped in 2018, but the mom who took it kept it to herself over fear of public ridicule. Nessie hunters say it is the clearest evidence to date, but Instagram sleuths think that it looks more like a discarded luggage or some old trash bags. Last weekend, the Loch Ness hunt was the largest in 50 years, but besides the old picture, it was described as a bust. Again, don't forget, right now, going on until 7 o'clock, if you want some good food, head over to the AMVETS Post 108 in Rocky Mount. There is a chicken or fish dinner going on until 7 o'clock tonight. $12 for adults, $6 for kids, 5 to 11, and those under 5 are free. The chicken or fish dinner meal will come with fries or baked potato, also a veggie, ice cream, and some drinks. Highway Y is where the AMVETS is located. Basically, if you're going W north towards Rocky Mount, you get to Y Highway right by the Rocky Mount Firehouse, make a left, and just start looking to the right. Once you go past the one bar there, the traffic jam, the AMVETS Post, just a little bit past that, over on the right side as well. So again, the chicken or fish dinner going on until 7 o'clock tonight. And they make some pretty good food. They really do. Let's see, a couple of other notes for you before we get to the break. I debated whether or not I would do this one, but I'm going to do it just because, it really does matter how a story appears. This title, COVID in the U.S. mapped as new Parola variant BA.2.86 rapidly spreads across the country. Oh my God! It's spreading all over the country! Parola variant! Oh, run for the hills! Get the mask out! Get the vaccines ready! And then you read the story. Texas has become the 5th state in the U.S. to detect the highly motivated COVID variant BA.2.86, also known as Parola. The variant, feared to be better at infecting vaccinated people than previous strains, has also been detected in Ohio, Virginia, Michigan, and New York. That's it. 5 states. 5 states out of 50 plus D.C. The BA.286 lineage, first detected in Denmark last month, carries more than 35 mutations in key portions of the COVID virus compared to XBB.1.5, the dominant variant through most of 2023. Switzerland and Israel have also recorded cases of the new variant. Again, this is the variant that is rapidly spreading across the country. Oh my God, it's going to get us. The strain, and here's the kicker. The strain was also logged in Canada yesterday, taking the total number of detections reported globally. Globally to me means around this entire world, around this entire earth. The total number of detections reported globally up to 24, doubling in just a week. But hey, you know what? It is rapidly spreading across the country. We might get one in every state. Isn't that a scary thought? Just goes to show how you write the headlines and how you write the story, what the difference is, because the rapidly spreading across the country, but 24 cases globally. Cha-ching. Let's do some KJPisms real quick before we get to news. The White House press secretary asked if President Biden agrees that the issue of biological boys playing in girls' sports is a women's rights issue. Now, we've, it's very well documented about how Karine Jean-Pierre, we use the same catchphrases over and over, different phrases. The president's very concerned, or this is a complicated matter. All the catchwords that she constantly uses when the Democrats have no answer, absolutely no answer to the questions that are being put their way. So I took it upon myself to put a little ding. At every spot, she used the word complicated.
Question on the big election topic, transgender rights. Former Governor Nikki Haley and presidential candidate says, quote, the idea that we have biological boys playing in girls' sports, it is the women's issue of our time. Does the president agree that this is a women's rights issue?
So we've talked about this many times. This is the Title IX specifically. And again, we've talked about this multiple times. It's a complicated issue.
That's one.
And there are a wide range of views on this. The Department of Education proposed a rule, as you know, that gives schools the flexibility to establish their own athletics policies. And so while establishing guardrails, right, to prevent discrimination against transgender kids. And that is something that is incredibly important that the president wants to make sure that...
Blah, 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 blah.
So I'm just not going to get ahead of that. As I said, there's a proposed rule Title IX, on Title IX that the Department of Education has laid out. So I'm just not going to get ahead of that as it relates to the Department of Education.
Daughters, does he care that girls are allowed to compete in sports without fear of injury? Does he think it's fair for girls to have to compete against biological males?
I just answered the question. It is a complicated issue. It is truly a complicated issue.
Number
with
3.
A wide range of views.
I think the over-under is.
There is no yes or no answer to this. It is complicated.
Number
There's
4.
a rule that the Department of Education has put forward, and we're going to let that process move forward. It is, again, we want to make sure that while we establish guardrails with this rule, that we also prevent discrimination
Drumroll, please.
Against transgender kids. But again, a complicated issue.
Number 5.
Views, and we respect that.
5 times in a minute 51, it's a complicated issue. 5:34, what's not so complicated? Time now for news.
Come party with your favorite pirate at Captain Ron's Bar and Grill and enjoy your favorite drinks and great food inside or outside by the beach. Enjoy their spectacular tiki bar. Kick back with your favorite cold drink and relax. The Captain's got you covered with plenty of indoor and outdoor seating and live entertainment every weekend. Captain Ron's is the place to be this summer. Captain Ron's Bar and Grill, open 7 days a week on Lake Road 550 or the 34.5-mile mark, Sunrise Beach.
Are still fighting fires tonight on the Hawaiian island of
The tragic wildfires continue to burn in Hawaii. Thousands of Maui residents and tourists are being forced to evacuate. The American Red Cross is there. If you need assistance locating a missing loved one due to the current disaster, please call 1-800-RED-CROSS. If you can help the people affected, you can make a gift to the Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. Text the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation.
CBS News Brief. A lot of people are traveling this long holiday weekend, and our Chris Van Cleve reports the weather hasn't been a big issue for flights.
The hurricane ended up not being much of a disruptor for holiday travel. We are watching for the potential of some delays in the New York area, Florida, and the Southwest.
The August jobs report is out, and President Biden was happy with the latest numbers. 187,000 were added last month.
It wasn't that long ago that America was losing jobs. In fact, my predecessor was one of only 2 presidents in history who entered his presidency and left with fewer jobs than when he entered.
A manhunt in Chester County, Pennsylvania for an escaped killer. Daniello Cavalcante has been on the run since Thursday morning.
Unfortunately, at this time, he has not been located, but we are using every available resource and asset to track his location.
That's District Attorney Deb Ryan. CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
Lake News Now.
I'm John Roger, KRMS Radio News. Our top local stories. With the Labor Day holiday weekend upon us, the Lake of the Ozarks will no doubt be a busy place on and off the water. And with the increased activity, if you're going to hit the water, Captain Bob May from the Water Safety Council says that your safety and the safety of
The key is that they are out and accessible. You know, there's a lot of accidents around the country, everywhere, where people are injured or ended up dying, and it could have been prevented.
May also says before hitting the water, you should familiarize yourself with the rules of boating. Run the blower on your boat before and after fueling up, and use an engine cutoff lanyard and make sure you have a sober operator. The holiday weekend starts tonight and will end on Monday night. A nationwide test of the emergency alert system and the wireless emergency alert system is scheduled for early October. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is coordinating with the Federal Communications Commission to carry out the test, which will happen on Wednesday, October the 4th, starting around 1:20 p.m. Central Time. There will be one test directed to all consumer cell phones and a second test directed to all cellular devices, with a message to be displayed indicating that it's only a test and no action is needed. The alerts will also be accompanied by a unique tone and a vibration. And if you don't like the snow, then you're probably not going to appreciate the just released winter prognostics by the Farmer's Almanac. When all the expected variables are factored in, the almanac is saying that colder than normal temperatures and above average levels of snowfall are on the way for the Northeast and the Midwest. And when will all the white stuff start arriving? The Farmer's Almanac says to have your winter clothes and shovels ready starting in November. Storms, showers, and flurries are expected to continue through the start of spring into 2024. Get a more in-depth look at the news on our website. Just go to krmsradio.com. That's your Lake News Now. I'm John Roger.
The news is sponsored by Heritage Bank of the Ozarks. Visit heritagebankozarks.com.
I'm Jennifer Webster from Heritage Bank of the Ozarks in Camdenton, where you will find everything you need in a bank. Mobile and ATM deposits, person-to-person transfer, and instant issue debit cards. Plus, your dollars stay local. When you bank locally, your local dollars are invested in our local communities with local lenders and local decisions. At Heritage Bank, we are genuinely neighbors serving neighbors. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's week 2 of the high school football season tonight over on 93.5 Rocks the Lake and KRMS TV 32.11 and the LOZ app. It's Camdenton and Kickapoo. Both teams are 1-0. I tell you what, they've had some classic encounters over the years. We'll see if we're in store for another one tonight. I think we are. We've got pregame, Summit Natural Gas pregame at 6 o'clock. Kickoff is at 7. School of the Osage looking to bounce back after a tough loss at Jefferson City last week. They are home against Moberly. You can hear it. Guy Wayman, Tony Herman, they've got it for you on Classic Country 104.9. Eldon's 1-0. They are home against 1-0 Owensville tonight. Versailles 1-0 at 1-0 Warsaw. Some fun matchups between undefeated teams tonight. And again, those games are scheduled to kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. Mizzou football raised the curtain on their 2023 season last night. They beat South Dakota 35-10. No real sweat, but wasn't exactly a dominant performance either by the Tigers. Brady Cook does throw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown. And again, after the game, Coach Eli Drinkwitz said that Cook had the leg up in the battle for starting quarterback over Sam Horn, who did play in the second half. From the KRMS Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Matthews.
Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.com. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.com. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.
For all of your local and long-distance moves, call Lake Movers today. 573-319-1730. MovingTheLake.com.
Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.com. Lake Movers, we're moving the lake.
Hey,
Hank, what are you up to?
Cinda, it's time to get the lawn back up to snuff.
You're going to throw out your back again.
I'll be fine.
Oh! It's time to start beautifying your residential and commercial properties. And your first stop should always be Holiday Lawn and Landscape. Mowing, trimming, mulching, landscaping, excavating, and more. From top to bottom, all projects big and small. Find them online at holidayLawnCare.com. Work smarter, not harder with Holiday Lawn Care. That's Holiday Lawn Care with an A.
I'm meteorologist Laura Lockwood with your News Talk KRMS weatherology forecast. Mainly clear, low near 60. Lots of sunshine on Saturday, high of 89. Saturday night, mainly clear, low near 65. Sunday, sunny, high of 92. Sunshine continues Labor Day with a high of 91 degrees. The current water temperature, sponsored by Captain Ron's Bar and Grill, home of the shootout, is 83 degrees. And the temperature at the studios, right now, 82.
So your wife is telling you all about a new pair of red shoes she wants, and you're like, okay, whatever. But the next day, you're online looking for a new deer stand, and everywhere you go online, you're seeing ads for those red shoes, and you're like, how do they do that? Better yet, how do I do that for my business? Well, that's what we do. We are Titan Digital. Websites, Google Ads, better reviews, increasing your sales at the lake. Titan Digital. See examples of our work at TitanDigitalMO.com. TitanDigitalMO.com.
Come party with your favorite pirate at Captain Ron's Bar and Grill and enjoy your favorite drinks and great food inside or outside by the beach. Enjoy their spectacular tiki bar. Kick back with your favorite cold drink and relax. The Captain's got you covered with plenty of indoor and outdoor seating and live entertainment every weekend. Captain Ron's is the place to be this summer. Captain Ron's Bar and Grill, open 7 days a week on Lake Road 550 or the 34.5-mile mark, Sunrise Beach.
Where there's smoke, there's barbecue. Hi, I'm Greg Dierberg. You heard that right. No liquid smoke flavor at Dierberg's. It's all smoked fresh with apple and cherry wood at each one of our stores. From brisket and wings to my personal favorite, smoked salmon. If you can smoke it, Bob's Barbecue has it. It's time to rethink your BBQ and try something truly extraordinary. Stop by and see what's smoking today. It's fresh, it's friendly, and for slow smoke barbecue, it's Dierberg's.
10 years ago, Papo's set out to make a better pizza with fresher ingredients and fewer additives.
At Papo's, we keep it real and we keep it fresh. Huge congratulations to Papo's. 10 years.
A lot has changed in the last decade, but not our pizza. From our first restaurant in Springfield to our newest in Lee Summit and stores 10 and 11, coming soon to Branson and Camdenton, we're still here to keep it real and keep it fresh. So cheers to you, our amazing customers, and here's to another 10 years.
The Community Calendar is sponsored by RJ's Family Restaurant in Camdenton. Close to home, yet far from ordinary.
The Osage Beach Senior Center will host a car show on October the 28th. There will be music, a bake sale, and a raffle. Hamburgers, hot dogs, soda, popcorn, and pretzels will be available. That's today's Community Calendar. Talking on the Ozarks today now with Lake Ozark Fire Chief Mark Carr. And Chief, just wanted to talk about the hurricane relief efforts down there in Florida, seeing a post online saying that the Lake Ozark Fire Protection District is represented in there as far as the relief efforts, and we wanted to make that known to everybody and just kind of give us an overview of what's going on.
Yep, no, we appreciate the opportunity for you to have us on, as always, Mike. We're very fortunate in the fact that we've got two of our firefighters, be firefighter paramedic FAR and firefighter EMT Donovan Brickey. Both of them are on deployment with Missouri Task Force 1 as specialists in different venues. As of this morning, I believe they've been repositioned to Lafayette County, Florida, which is closer to the damage area, and then we'll try to provide updates as things go along. But we're very, very fortunate to have members of our department that seek that opportunity outside to be specialists of a national and, for that matter, international, in some cases, resource. And the knowledge they gain from those deployments and just the additional training that is specialized, they bring back and share with the department. So it's most certainly a benefit for both sides of the equation.
Is this something to where they're on the task force, and then the task force says, "Hey, we need you guys to go. It's your unit's turn," or do they say, hey, we're available to go? I mean, how does it work?
So they're actually on a call rotation. With Missouri Task Force 1 specifically, they have a red, white, and a blue team. And each team is on call for 30 days. And then that is just within the Missouri Task Force 1 team itself. And then there is a federal rotation, of which I can't even begin to tell you how that works, because I've been so detached from that for so long. But it decides which of those USAR teams across the country is first up, second up, third up, if you will, should a disaster occur like this.
This is something where you take a look at it, and, whenever something like this happens across the country, you always hear about people putting together maybe some collection drives and stuff like that to get down there and help people out. But, this is one part of it that you don't always hear about, the actual individuals that are going as well. And, it has to be a moment to be proud of for the fire district as well as everybody here at the lake.
Oh, yes, it absolutely is. It's and it's not an easy process for those that may not know, just to become a task force team member. While it's not a paid full-time job, there is still an application and a competitive process to get chosen, and then to go down your specialist and subject matter expert training side of things as to who is getting deployed to what, if that makes sense. So those guys have worked extra hard to be able to be a part of that team, let alone the honor of being able to be deployed and serve the country and fellow man, which we do on a daily basis in our community. But it's you're right. It is an honor and a privilege to do that on a national stage as well. We're super proud of those guys.
You mentioned Brandon Donovan being able to bring back knowledge as well, and it may not be a hurricane that we get hit with, but we can get hit with some pretty good weather, and I would think that type of knowledge is invaluable.
Oh, it absolutely is. So while you're correct on the hurricane side, of course, who knows with the way the environment works anymore? Maybe 10 years from now we'll have to worry about that this far inland for some reason. But what they actually bring back that they're able to help with on our end is either structural collapse knowledge, which is obviously pertinent anywhere across the country. And then a lot of the work that the task force does when they deploy for hurricane type stuff is actually the surge flooding. So a lot of the swiftwater rescue and evac stuff, which is very pertinent to our area when we have the heavy downpours and the flash flooding. So while the actual root cause of why they're there may not translate to mid-Missouri, the skills and the skill set needed to mitigate emergencies at the local level most certainly benefits us for them to have that extra knowledge.
How long are they gone in the deployment?
So we always plan on 14 days, but they can be gone up to 21 days. And then as soon as we know that they're getting demobilized, those guys let us know that so we can start rearranging the schedule and get them plugged back in on our end. But we always plan for 14 days to start with, but it can be as long as 21 days.
I was going to say kind of a hit as far as your department is concerned, but I'm sure that's why they give you advance notice and stuff like that.
Yep, they do, and they're really good about. So they go through a process whenever the federal government decides to put USAR teams on standby. They're good about those USAR teams, in this case Missouri Task Force 1, notifying that team that is up and on call at that time of, hey, we've been placed on standby. And that is normally when our members call and say, hey, just so you guys know, we're on standby. That way when the actual call does come that, yes, we are deploying, then we're already prepared on that side to backfill their spot versus, receiving a call at 2 a.m. that it was a scramble deployment and just kind of being behind the 8 ball, if that makes sense.
I was going to say, I guess you can kind of chuckle about the timing right before the Labor Day weekend here, where we're going to be busy as all get out, and you losing 2 of your personnel at the same time.
Yeah, but we're fortunate in the standpoint that we've got folks that are willing to step up and realizing that we've got an obligation to our citizens first. So we've got those holes filled, and we're just it's one of those industries, Mike, where everybody always pitches in for the greater good, and even if it's guys that have already been there an extended amount of time, they're going to put in that extra shift because it's all for the right reasons.
Not wanting to look ahead and prognosticate what kind of weekend we're going to have, because, I mean, we've had holiday weekend where it's been relatively quiet, I'll use that word, and then we've had other weekends where all hell is broken loose. Without looking at Labor Day, just kind of look back real quick and, how would you gauge the summer to have been so far?
The summer statistically so far has been, with a couple of exceptions of some rather high profile instances, it really has been very, very tame compared to years past. I don't want find some wood somewhere close to knock on for good luck. I don't want to curse us going into this weekend, but I'm hopeful that it's a safe and calm. I won't use the Q word like you did. A safe and calm holiday weekend for the entire lake community.
Sure, throw me under the bus.
Well, we are in this line of work. We are very superstitious about that Q word. So, well, I don't want to be the one accused of throwing that out there.
You did give me another word to use, and I will remember that in the future. I'll use the hope you have a tame weekend instead of the Q weekend.
There you go. Well, and we never know what the fire and EMS gods are gonna wish upon us one way or the other. But a big superstition for us is the Q word, so we try to avoid it.
Well, hopefully everything will go according to plans down there in Florida for Brandon and Donovan, and congrats. I guess I'll say congrats to you guys, because it's just a testament that they're on the task force and able to respond to something like that.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that, and I don't want to go way out on a limb, but I feel pretty confident in speaking for both those guys that they're honored to serve in that capacity, and hopefully we can get them to be able to visit with you about their experiences when they get back.
Sounds good, Chief. Appreciate your time.
Yep. No, thank you as always, Mike, and have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend.
And that is Lake Ozark Fire Chief Mark Carr talking about a couple of his firefighters, Brandon Farr and Donovan Bricky, being deployed